is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play. Ready? Play.
With Team, Gasquet, potentially, Rafa, and we don't know how many more years Novak will be on tour. Is there a player that you really want to play before they finish?
Yeah, sure. Novak Djokovic.
You want to play? Is there a player that you really want to play before they finish?
Yeah, sure. Novak Djokovic.
Before they finish?
Yeah, sure. Novak Djokovic. Yeah, sure. Novak Djokovic.
You want to play?
Ready? Play.
You should get punished for that screeching sound. And when it says before they finish a few times, I keep thinking there's going to be a joke about the cog there. Anyway, Ghost surely would come up with something if he's going to be here. Apparently, Mark Smith was worried about me being awake. So yeah, I am awake, Mark. Glad to see you're awake as well. I don't know if me being awake is a story, but maybe it is. Actually kind of is, because I just had that power nap before the start of play that sometimes I do before the Australian Open. And it lasted about 2 hours today. Hopefully it's going to get me through the day a little bit more easily, still with some sleep during the night. And then Rublev Fonseca in the morning, we hit it hard. We just slam into it, and we watch that 5-setter to come, hopefully. Anyway, today, or actually right now, we're going to be watching Zhang play Holger Rune. This is a particularly exciting matchup, maybe a little. I mean, Zhang definitely has that type of game where upsets against top 20, top 10 players are possible. It's not been happening recently. I mean, since the Hangzhou final, his first ATP Tour final, which he lost to Marin Cilic, he only won one match, and that was in 55 minutes against Thiago Monteiro at the United Cup. He did take a set of Zverev recently, though, and was phenomenal for a set before starting to put every single shot in the fence, which is, it's triple Z. That's how he plays, right? So I think in the best of 5 format, Rune probably has enough time, and probably also it's not a matchup where Rune will have to think all that much. I think somehow he will be able to play a bit more maybe optimally than generally, because, he's going to be pushed on the defense, and, maybe not always. Obviously he's still going to play pretty aggressively behind his serve, but I don't think it's going to be one of these where he really has to think, and then just, come up with a phenomenal game plan and just apply himself as best he can in order to prevail. It's probably a match where simply having so many options, being quick, being such a talented player is going to be enough, I think, in the long run. But, Zhang taking some sets, taking some games with absurd hitting. We should see it today, hopefully. Of course, with Rune, we don't really know what to expect in any match, any event. This is such a horrible draw for both of these players, to be honest, because after this, they are going to play Berrettini or Nori. And then also there's Hurkacz, Hrikspor, Kecmanovic in that section. And only one of these players that I mentioned just now, plus Dusan Lajovic as well, who, is looking like a bit of an outsider there. But only one of these 8 players will reach the forefront and likely face Yannick Sinner in there. So even by that point, the draw doesn't ease up on these guys. So I mean, yeah, it's one of the popcorn sections of the draw, but it might not really lead to the biggest like developments in terms of the the whole event. I can totally see that. Yeah. I thought you were I thought you were referencing something from one of the previous lives. Then, yeah, Australian Open is definitely a rough one for me, time zone wise. But well, we going, and sometimes we sleep, sometimes we are awake. But this time, thankfully. No, I mean, for the start of play so far, I've been doing fine. We've actually been doing this like start of play more or less stream every single day, and that also helps to keep me up until like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. And then maybe that then comes that moment when I try to get some sleep, try to get some naps, and we'll see how that goes throughout the rest of the week. So far, I feel okay, but I have noticed a few times, like a few things. Like it's definitely a lot tougher to go running. Just the whole day, my energy levels are a little lower, and yeah, it's also tougher like to keep yourself full. The hunger level doesn't really go away throughout the day because you're tired all the time, and the usual cues your body isn't really responding to. But well, it's just a month, thankfully. I think James said it on the last ball drops show we did, that he's often very thankful that Australia is just 1 month. And I do tend to agree with that. Of course, for me, there's gonna be a few more challengers in these time zones during the year. But if it's a challenger, I don't. Well, if it's 5 challengers a week, and I only really, I don't know, watch certain matches from an event that has a time zone like this, right? So it's kind of more manageable. Whereas here, obviously, I want to watch the most I can. And well, it's not the most noteworthy topic, as I said, whether I'm awake or not. But thankfully, we're gonna be able to deliver this much to you, and hopefully Rublev Fonseca as well. As I said, I cannot really like promise you that I'm gonna be on the stream for that, because yeah, simply if the body says no, it's gonna be very hard for me to disagree, since sometimes it's really just like a physical reaction, and even setting an alarm clock might not help. But yeah, I think I'm pretty hopeful to watch that match. Obviously, this is the big one of the round. We're gonna have that, obviously, the last match of the night session today, so it's a lot of time before that even happens. Today we are wrapping up the first round of both the men's singles and the women's singles events. I think 20 matches each on the singles side, and we're also beginning the doubles action. About like 4 or 5, I think, doubles matches in general. So gonna be plenty to watch tonight for sure. Don't want to miss too much of it. Hi, Jake. Hi, Joao. The namesake of Joao Fonseca. I'm sure you were named after him when they realized in Brazil that, wow, this is just such a good tennis player. And your parents in Portugal, I think, because I think you're from Portugal. I might be wrong with that, but I think you are. Just decided that, yeah, we have to name our kid Fonseca as well. I mean, Joao, not Fonseca. What am I even talking about? Okay, so there's obviously been a lot of matches starting already as well, because we are beginning with a match on one of the main 2 courts, which have a start time 30 minutes later than the rest. And well, on the men's side, it's like there's 0 developments. Everybody is on serve. Berrettini Nori on serve, Diallo Nardi on serve, Kecmanovic Lajovic on serve, Manarino Hachanov on serve, and Zhang Rune obviously as well, but just 2 games. Whereas on the women's, I mean, there's definitely more happening. Ziyu Wang has already like started crushing Julia Grabher, who I think is coming back after a while. Anna Bondar is 4-2 up over Yafan Wang. Yafan Wang, I think last year had a big run here, right? She almost beat Qinwen Zheng in the 3rd round, but hasn't really done anything of note since. That's the first really good point on return we get from either player here in this match. Actually, it might get more. Wow, it's getting tricky. And Rune eventually attempts to play a frontal tweener. Okay. And well, Zhang still wins it. That's probably the deserved outcome, but there was a smash there that he played into the backhand corner of Rune. And Holger was still able to get it back somehow, make Triple Z play another one, which was significantly tougher. It was from way further, way further from the net. But yeah, then the tweener attempt from Rune just a little senseless, but well, it comes as in the first point of the game. I guess that's fine. Anyway, Alexandrova Raducanu is definitely the match that a lot of people will be watching right now. I might switch to some matches, sort of like from time to time in order to check, if there's something happening there that's quite exciting, like a tie break or whatever. And well, maybe we'll do that. Who knows? But for now, I'm staying with this one as it progresses in its opening set. We have Anisimova up 5-2 on Karle as well. Kasatkina has already taken a set from Tomova, and it looks like Andreeva will be... But Erika, not Mira, of course. Mira has already played her round 1 match. She will be taking the opening set shortly, it seems, against Zhang. Well, it's love 30 now, so the first opportunities of the match might come to Zhang. He is unable to handle this quick forehand cross-court from Rune. So 15-30. I think, well, he was pushing for a break, Berrettini, but now Nori has a game point, and Diallo and Nardi are already heading into the tiebreak. Yeah, 5 men's matches, and so far, neither of them have featured... Well, they have featured breaks. They're just back on serve in the opening sets, all of them. Anyway, 15-30, Rune will be... Yeah, he just barely misses that second serve. He does also miss, though, and that's not even barely that backhand cross he's trying to take early. So the first 2 breakpoints of the match do indeed come to Zhang, who came out of the blocks quickly in this game. And now let's see if he can secure our first break lead of the match. I just saw that Fonseca got a wild card for some South American event, and people are treating it as big news. I mean, he's gonna get a wild card in all of these Golden Swing events if he even needs it. So I'm saying if he even needs it, because by Santiago, he might not if he has a big run here. But yeah, Vansh obviously made that big call yesterday that Fonseca might win a couple of Golden Swing events this year, so he has to play them first. But well, I thought I was optimistic about the guy. Anyway, Rune breaks himself. I know that I mentioned that Zhang, applied the pressure in the first point and everything, but from there, I think it's fair to say that Rune broke himself, especially with this +1 forehand here. Just, again, kind of senseless error. You don't really know what Rune was even going for, but he does miss the shot. So even though we've got 5 men's matches going on right now, 4 of them started half an hour before this. This is actually the one where we have the only lead so far. Diallo Nardi into the first set tiebreak. And Alexandrova just broke Raducanu to serve for the opening set. Alexandrova and Raducanu, you might remember, they were due to face at Wimbledon. That was also going to be one of the more exciting clashes of round 1, but Ekaterina ended up withdrawing, and Raducanu played Renata Zarazua instead, getting to the 4th round before losing to the revelation of that event. So the New Zealander, the Kiwi qualifier, Lulu Sun. Well, let's see if... Well, we know what Zhang's game plan will be from here. Let's see if he can keep serving as well as he's been, because that's kind of also one of the big parts today, I suppose. You'd expect Rune to be in, plenty of return games, but definitely not when Zhang is just firing 3 great first serves like this and going 40-love up. There's not much that Rune can do about that. They're showing us that after an early break, the top 100, they win 81% of the sets, whereas Zhang is actually winning 86. So he has a very good conversion rate if he gets that early break in the set. He's a good front runner in that sense. Great to see the legend Yen Sun Lu in his coaching box. Of course, Wimbledon quarterfinalist 2010. He beat Andy Roddick in that run. Also, the player with the most challenger singles titles in history, 29. Always nice to see him in one of these coaching boxes. Of course, just like 3 or 4 years ago, he was still trying to come back. But after many injuries, he decided to call it quits. Raducanu with a couple of breakpoints. 5 players on the men's side today that are looking for their first Grand Slam wins. Kasidit Samray, if he wins, I'm gonna eat my, I don't even know what, shoe. Shoe is a classic. I should come up with something else, right? If he wins via anything else but retirement, I'm probably gonna eat something, but I don't know what yet. And it's not gonna be a usual food item. Let me tell you that. Some big chances for Tristan Boyer or Lerner Tien, who are playing the clay quarters in Federico Coria and Camilo Guccarabelli. Nardi as well, 0-3 so far in Challenger main draw. In Grand Slam main draws, he is playing Diallo right now, obviously, and has a good chance to secure the opening set. Who am I forgetting about? One more guy, right? Obviously, Joao Fonseca. I mean, honestly, with all the hype that we've had about Fonseca, it just kind of feels like he's already had his Grand Slam debut, But obviously, yes, this was his first major. Is his first major. Well, Zhang is firing here. This is a great drop shot. This guy's completely fooled Rune. And the previous point was just a perfect cross-court forehand winner right into the corner. I think Holger wasn't sure whether to chase it down or not. So, yeah, I mean, this is just a fantastic start from him. If you can secure that double break lead, then from that point, I'm sure his conversion rate is even better than 86%. He's got that inside-in opportunity, but what a counter from Rune. Gonna attack him, squash shot from Zhang, and Rune will be... he's definitely right here to just let it go as it flies long, but that's a key point. That was tough. Basically won it with the quick forehand counter, which I think he anticipated very well where Zhang was gonna go, despite the thunderous pace of the Chinese, but still had to wrap it up in the next 3-4 shots. Was not easy, and the pressure has been on the Dane so far. Well, speaking of pressure on the Dane, deep return from Zhang, and we have a shank return on the forehand side. Alexandrova and Raducanu at 5-all. Looks like that set is going a little wildly. Andrieva did indeed take the opening set over Saisei Zheng. And as I said, there's also a few doubles matches, including one of them today, starting already. So Blinkova and Wu against Burge Towson. Nothing too interesting, truthfully, on the first day of the doubles action. I'm pretty sure tomorrow will be already much better, though. Well, let's see. Breakpoint for Zhang to go double break up, but Rune plays a very safe, controlled point. Gets that short ball from Triple Z, which was a slice, but it didn't really matter as Rune is able to easily put that away. Well, that's the kind of rallies we've kind of been missing from his game so far, especially in that previous game where he got broken, right? That was the one where he was just spraying the first or second shot instead of playing with this much control. Speaking of control, this is also pretty nice. His forehand, he takes it on the half volley. It doesn't always have to be an easy shot with him with his technique. Kind of the, Jakub Pensik / old Coco Gauff school of things, but taking it this early was able to he was able to just take it he was able to just venture into the net and wrap it up. I watched a Kokogov highlight, by the way, from 2020, I think, just before I went to sleep, and it was her playing against Venus Williams at the Australian Open in 2020. And I mean, oh my god, if you watch that forehand from back then, the evolution of that shot is just incredible. I'm not even talking about the United Cup, but it used to be just like literally borderline unplayable. You know, it was the Tsitsipas backhand back in the day. But yeah, you can definitely turn something like this around, and kind of over the years find small tactical changes that eventually lead to, well, maybe it becoming a completely different weapon. We'll see. I know she wasn't really using it that well yesterday, but we'll see how that progresses, as at the United Cup, obviously that really changed her game. Luca Nardi took the opening set over Gabriel Diallo. Berrettini keeps pushing for that break in the opener against Nori, but Kam is fighting back so far. And Kecmanovic looks to be about to take the first set 7-5, although there's still just one more set point on serve. Anyway, Rune holds. Definitely, he was close to going double breakdown here, plays that very nice controlled rally. So if he is losing the set eventually, then we're going to be coming back to this point for sure. If he is winning the set eventually, then we're going to be coming back to this point for sure, given Triple Z had an opportunity for a double break. Zhang has already produced a bigger Grand Slam win than this, obviously, beating Casper Ruud at the US Open in 2023. Was it already, or was it last year? No, in 2023, right? It was the same day as Tsitsipas losing to Streaker, I remember. So yeah, 2023. As I said, generally my tennis memory is very good when it comes to things that happened 5 years ago, but the things that happened last year or 2 years ago, they just blend completely. But yeah, that was 2 years ago at the US Open already, when he defeated Casper Ruud in 5 sets. Casper being like number 5 or something like that at the time. So definitely not uncharted territory for Zhang to be pushing a high seed. Although in Australia, I don't think he's done that, has he? I mean, he definitely played Ben Shelton, and I think even had a match point against him in that 5-setter in 2023 as well. And then last year, I think he was able to get a first win on the board here at the Australian Open, getting a rather fortunate draw in Federico Coria in the opening round. As I said, that's the player that you really want to have in your hardcourt major, considering he's usually there at like the 95th spot in the rankings, and on hardcourts just doesn't play them. But sometimes has upset players in the past. I mean, I think he beat Talon Hrikspor at the US Open, and in Australia he took Marton Fucsovics to 5 sets. So you still have to be cautious. You still have to play well. I actually think that Boyer Coria matchup might be a little bit more dicey today than people expect, but we'll see. And that's not any reflection of like me not believing in Tristan. I do love his game and picked him to break the top 100 this year. Well, there's more big serving, and he gets to a 40-15 lead, Triple Z. But now Rune applying the pressure with a flatter backhand at the middle of the court. Gonna be taking time away from Zhang here. Still one more game point, though, to keep himself ahead. Zhang, even though he's won one match since Hangzhou, it's not the end of the world. He's not a particularly like rhythm-heavy player. Even if he also had like moments in his career where suddenly everything starts clicking and then he's unplayable for months, especially the summer of 2022 kind of stands out in that sense. But especially on the main tour, it seems like he mostly operates in, peak performances, peak runs, rather than being consistent week in, week out. So it's really not the end of the world for his level to be on a losing streak. Even if, of course, at some point, if that losing streak continues, he might fall into certain ranking trouble. Anyway, ace down the tee to get us to 4-2. We had another comparison on the screen between the top 100 players and Zhang in terms of the average first serve speed. As you can imagine, Triple Z was up on that comparison by about 9 kilometers. I think 204 kilometers an hour is his average first serve. I believe that's like yearly rather than today so far, but I don't know. It wasn't specified. It just would be pretty stupid to use stats from today so far, I guess, given we've only had 3 games on his serve, but who knows, maybe it was. Argentinian guy that made third round in Wimbledon and disappeared, who defeated Rublev. I mean, Comesania, but he didn't disappear. He's playing Altmaier here. He also made the third round at the US Open. He won a challenger at the end of last season in Sao Paulo. So I don't think he disappeared. When you mentioned Argentinian guy third round, and I didn't get to the Wimbledon part yet, I thought you were gonna be talking about Genaro Alberto Olivieri, who of course made the third round at Roland Garros, not at Wimbledon, but it was one of the like forgotten runs of the last few years for a reason. I mean, he beat Vavasori and Pecci Pericard, I think. So on clay courts, that definitely wasn't the toughest draw, but well, he then played Holger Rune, coincidentally. But yeah, Comesania, I mean, he made third rounds in both at both Wimbledon and the US Open last year. Plus, still finished top 100. I don't think he's disappeared. He's playing Daniel Altmaier today. Legendary match Olivieri Vavasori, yes, and also a legendary was that final qualifying round that year between Olivieri and Andreev. I just couldn't believe how nervous Andreev was. He literally couldn't hit through his forehand whatsoever in the third set, and it became just a bit of a nightmare to watch, but like much less entertaining than Habib Shidek this time. So like the quality was really poor, and you really just like almost were horrified to watch it. Other than which is what separates it from this event, where we got a couple of these like camp classics in the final round of qualifying, like Landaluces Furcina, Habib Shidek, but they still felt like very entertaining and had a lot of quality in them. Anyway. Berrettini had some set points before the tiebreak, but now is 4-1 up in that breaker. Kecmanovic set up Manarino and Khachanov heading into the breaker as well. That's what's happening. And Alexandrova Raducanu in a tiebreaker at 3-2 for Emma. Still no winners today, but 6-1 4-2 for Ziyu Wang already. Let's actually maybe switch to Raducanu Alexandrova for a few points while Rune and Zhang are having a changeover. It's 4-2 Emma now, as they are going to be switching sides. Alexandrova serving at 2-4. Ekaterina, not exactly the best slam player. For a while, she couldn't break through the second round of these events. Then she got to the fourth round finally at one of them, but still kind of compared to the rest of her resume, it's been pretty tough for her to produce these runs and string wins together at Grand Slam level, which makes sense. I mean, just in general, I guess it's rather tough for her to string wins together, considering how hit or miss she is. But, she's getting titles. She's getting finals on the tour, so. Beat Iga Świątek last year in Miami. One of the few players who, like, really trouble her, well, almost every time they play. But it's Raducanu who has the mini break at 4-3 in the breaker. You know that Alexandrova will be all over that second serve, and, well, whether she hits it or not is probably going to determine the point. Well, yeah, exactly. It's a very deep forehand return down the middle of the court. Raducanu almost looped it back in, but not quite enough. So 4 points all. Almost an hour on the clock in that one as well. And we still haven't learned all that much, as they are now both 3 points away from the set. Once more, the first serve won't be found by the Brit. He's trying to go for an ace-T. And once more, it's going to be basically Alexandrova rolling the dice, right, on that second serve return. And if it sticks, it's probably a point, but no, she's going to miss it this time. It sails long. 5 for Raducanu. Let's see if Mr. Zhang is serving already. Whoa, wow. Okay, that was a lightning quick service game for Zhizhen Zhang. So he's 5-3 up. Well, if Rune was going to push for that break, he's only giving himself one more chance now. Someone who's not giving herself any chances here is Alexandrova as well, dumping that backhand into the middle of the net. Well, that's kind of her game, right? Sometimes you are going to be amazed. Sometimes it's going to be like this. So basically, she either wins, hits the shot and wins the point, or misses it, and it just feels like dice rolling for the most part. 4-6, Raducanu with 2 set points. But now she's the one going for a massive forehand return down the line. So Emma takes the opening set 7-6, 7-4 in the tiebreak, as we return to Zhang and Rune, the usual programming, if you may. And, well, it's 30-15 Holger already at 3-5. And this is going to be another quick hold, this time for the Dane. So 4-5, the changeover is coming. And now this is the one where both players kind of have a lot to think about, right? Rune on how to approach this, as he is trying to stay alive in the opening set. And Zhang, well, so far, not really under pressure on serve. But we know that these 5-4, well, basically whenever you serve it out, it can get a little bit more tricky. So the tension is going to be up in the next game, that's for sure. At the Australian Open, I'm just checking the results of Yen Sun Lu. Wasn't going that well, 7-14. But he did reach a couple of third rounds. That Wimbledon run definitely a bit of an outlier in his Grand Slam career, but what a fantastic win it was over Andy Roddick, 9-7 in the fifth. Always nice to see him on the big stage here. In the coach's pod or whatever it's called now, right? The introduction that I don't really think is too relevant, but it is what it is. Well, I mean, if Zhang was gonna just like come out and hope for a couple of big serves, he's got exactly that. This is an ace out wide to go 30 love up. 31 minutes only in this set. You know, that one break is really just deciding the opening set as a whole. Considering how well Zhang has been serving and also playing. We haven't really seen any like wild unforced errors from him. He's not helping out Rune all that much. Holger shanks this forehand. Well, this is a wild unforced error, I suppose, but it was a slightly more tricky, uncontrollable ball based on how Holger mishit it. Anyway, 30-15 for Zhang, still 2 points away from taking the set. And that's another strong serve from Zhang to get us to the opening set, to get him the opening set. 6-4. Yeah, I mean, fantastic serving, great hitting, honestly, off the ground as well. I really no unforced errors to speak of, as in, like, when he played Zverev at the United Cup, he had this one phenomenal set, but after that, he was just such a mess. I think this was actually a pretty controlled opening set from him, definitely. And Rune giving him that one break just ended up being a bit too much. Yeah, just 8 unforced errors from Zhang, Rune 7, so no difference there, really. He won every single point on first serve as well, Triple Z. And obviously didn't face a break point. Covered 7 more meters than Holger Rune, according to the Australian Open stats. I don't know if it's too important, but they are showing me that, so I might as well mention it. But yeah, Holger just kind of gave away a few points in that 1-0 game. And that's from then Zhang was playing and serving too well to any comeback attempt to even be a thing. So yeah, it's not looking bright for Rune. The next set definitely going to be like a deal breaker, in the sense that you kind of have to see him take it. Otherwise, of the next 3, Zhang will have a pretty decent chance to just wrap one of them up. Radu Alexandrova getting panned on Twitter, is it that bad? I mean, definitely the parts of it that I've watched, they've been pretty rough, but that's like Alexandrova's playstyle, She's just gonna be smashing away at these shots, and that's it. But I don't know, the winner unforced error stats look pretty okay, which I know they're not a perfect representation of how a match is going, but in this very case, I actually think that it's okay, right? Like it actually kind of tells you something, because with Alexandrova's playstyle, like if she doesn't have too many unforced errors, then yeah, I think she's probably doing fine. I don't know. Obviously this match has been my main focus, but I've watched bits of Alexandrova Raducanu as well along the way. But well, looks like we don't have any toilet breaks here. Holger about to serve in the second set, about to serve first in the second set. I guess they are also. I see that some people are slamming Alexandrova for getting broken a lot, so maybe that's why the quality of that match is getting a bad rep. Well, sure, Alexandrova does have a pretty good serve, but she's only won 24% of her second serve points, and Emma just 18. So you can see where these issues are lying, really. I mean, both players are such aggressive second serve returners that. Especially Alexandrova, but Raducanu as well. Raducanu with 9 double faults in the opener. Yeah, so I guess that's where the match gets its bad rep indeed. How many breaks were there in the opening set? 4 each. Yeah, so that's why. People tend to like hate on the matches where there's a lot of breaks. Basically, they kind of like, if it happens on the ATP side, they just say that it's a WTA match is happening here or something like that. And on the WTA, yeah, they just say classic WTA or something like that. I don't know. I mean, in some cases, definitely a lot of breaks represents lack of quality, but I think it's a very individual thing. Not gonna tell you though how what I think about the Alexandrova Raducanu clash so far, as indeed I've only been watching it like from time to time. So, Beatriz Haddad Maia down a set to Julia Riera. This has been a rough season for the Brazilian so far. I mean, we know she is also one of these players who like can kind of go off for months at a time, and then suddenly she comes back. She wins one of these 4-hour clashes. She makes a big run at a slam. But yeah, so far losing to Laura Zygmunt and Jinyu Gao at the United Cup, and then winning just 3 games against Madison Keys. So she's very close to a 0-4 start to the season here. If Riera can put her away. Anisimova is dominating Maria Carle. Anisimova, famous for being featured in John Silk's top 10 WTA ranking at the end of 2025. Let's see if she can live up to the task. Before that, she was basically a no-name. Like, who remembers 2019, the French in 2019? Who remembers Toronto last year? No. It's John Silk who made Amanda Anisimova relevant. Daria Kasatkina is serving for the match against Viktoria Tomova. And maybe that will be our first winner of today, because also Ziyu Wang is game away against Julia Grabher, but she is on return, whereas Kasatkina is serving. So that might be the first match that ends today, but we'll see. And well, Lajovic with the break in the second set, interestingly. Let's see how this one is going to go here for Triple Z in the first serve. On the first serve return points won, as I said in the opening set, Rune had 0, but now he's already won 1. And it's love 30. First pressure game on the Zhang serve. Ooh, it felt like Rune still has the chance for a pass here. Zhang was trying to be a little too clever with this short, like more compact backhand, wrong footing Rune. Holger had the position for a forehand pass. He had the angle, but he mishits it again. So 15-30. But let's see. This is a good opportunity for him here. Yeah, Zhang just not missing too much of the ground. There's really just a good quality ball coming back. And that's been a little tricky for Holger with the errors that he's made in parts, at least, of the set. But now he's applying pressure backhand down the line. 15-40, and we have our first breakpoints of the match for the Dane. The first set was decided by an early break one way. Let's see if the second will also follow suit, but maybe in the other direction. Serve down the tee. Zhang going forehand cross. He's got Rune on the back foot, but not quite enough to put him away. Still gonna be enough though, as Holger dumps his backhand into the middle of the net. Wasn't even all that much pace coming on that shot from Zhang. So definitely a missed opportunity. Just once again, his timing not really living up to the task. Big breath before serving here for Triple Z. He goes T again. It's a block return from Rune. Ay. This is a big mistake from Zhang, I think, on the direction of the +1, but still he is able to wrap up the point, go to the net. Very nice first volley. That feels like out of Yen Sun Lu's arsenal, to be honest. And then the next one was just a put away. Yeah, I didn't like the direction of the +1. He did play directly into Rune's forehand counter cross, but that's okay, as he was able to cover the angle and gets the second breakpoint saved. Another good serve, but this time Rune is starting to put these first serve returns back in play, and that's already making a big difference, as Zhang is shunking his forehand here. Third breakpoint. How big is this game going to be in the grand scheme of things, even in the grand scheme of this second set? That's something we're going to learn. Well, Rune has Zhang kind of where he wants him. Moving him in that backhand cross-court exchange. But then, I don't know, he just kind of gives it away. Tries to run around, but yeah, it's nothing interesting there really, as he makes another unforced error. What's up with Rune's serve? Someone on Twitter is asking. Pretty slow for him, focusing more on placement. Let me check the stats. Is the Rune serve really slow? I would, I guess, have to know what his general serving speeds are. But, well, we'll see on the Australian Open website. Zhang has a game point now after saving these 3 chances for the Dane. Let's see if he can wrap it up first. And then we'll look into the serve speed stat, as someone is suggesting we should. Forehand cross-court with a nice angle from Zhang. I like that kind of like semi-pickup he goes for here. And it's 1-game. Yeah, 3 breakpoints, as I said. Let's see how this is how important this will be in the grand scheme of things. 177 in this set from Holger. Opener though, 199 fastest serve, 190 first serve average. Doesn't seem abnormal. So that's what I'm gonna say. That 190 first serve average doesn't really seem abnormal to me. Also, he didn't really like lose the opening set because of his serving, right? It was just that one game where he makes kind of random errors after that serve. And indeed, Daria Kasatkina becomes the first winner of today, defeating Viktoria Tomova. Pretty close to joining her, Amanda Anisimova serving for the win. Ziyu Wang still 1 game away. Maybe soon we're going to have Arika Andreeva as well in a good position. The other match that started around the time that Zhang and Rune began was also Navarro Stearns, one of these like high-profile All-American clashes of today. That is going on serve so far in the opener 2. And for the men, the big development, I guess, is that not Berrettini lost that set despite many set points in the opener. Oh, actually, I don't know if many set points. I might be stretching here, but I do remember he had at least 1 set point. Let me check if I'm not going a little overboard here. Yeah, he had 1 set point. Okay, so not many set points. Definitely not many deuces that were close to the end of the set. Let's just say that. Khachanov took the opener against Adrian Manarino. I think it could be a huge slam for Karen Khachanov, especially now that with Tsitsipas out, right? Well, it doesn't even have to be that much of an impact, I suppose. Just simply the fact that Karen has a horrible head-to-head against Steph. So, first serve placement from Zhang on our screens. He's going T, both sides really, but especially deuce side. Yeah, especially deuce side, 78%. On the outside, a little more out wide, 36, but clearly down the tee from both angles is just his favorite. And he's been using it very well so far. Even this game, when he had 3 breakpoints, the previous service game of his, when he had 3 breakpoints to save, I think the first 2 definitely he went T. What was the third one? That was the one. No, the third one he went wide. And then Rune had that opportunity to switch inside in, which he missed. But yeah, he definitely did trust it. And even if the serves were coming back, he had generally on 2 out of 3 points, he had the aggressive position right out of the gate. Anyway, 2-1 Rune, obviously, and Zhang will be serving. The previous game was the toughest one he's had to encounter, he's had to play so far in the match. So let's see if that continues. Maybe the better returning from Rune here will be a factor, and it definitely is, as it's just all about making that one shot sometimes here. And it's pretty deep, and it's pretty fast, and it's getting the error from Zhang, so maybe there's another tough one on the cards for him. Down the T here, sets up an easy play. Yes, he does. Well, I guess I could have confirmed that it was going to be an easy play even before he landed the winner, but yeah, I mean, he also made it look easy. 170 kilometers an hour on that forehand? Wow. Didn't really seem that fast, to be honest. I mean, it's just a put away at the net, but he didn't, like, despite the speed, it didn't feel like he overplayed it. So, from that standpoint, it didn't seem like it was reckless or anything because it had so much pace on it. No. It's a good serve wide now. Gonna throw in the drop shot. Should be fine, as I think, yeah. I mean, Rune was clearly gonna get to this, but it was just so easy to cut off the angles for Holger. He was never gonna play a good pass out of it. He was always gonna play a pass, but never something that would actually trouble the player at the net, considering all the timing advantage that Triple Z had. Pretty good thinking as well. I mean, probably could have played it down the line, but just a big forehand down the line. But he saw how far off the court Holger was. Tries to throw in the serve and volley. It worked out on another occasion. I think he was 40 love up in that game in the first set, Zhang. And he had this great half volley pickup. But this time you can see right after the Rune return that he's going to be stretched for this first volley, the Chinese, and, stretched too far to play it with any control. Anyway, 30-all. Goes with the body of Rune. Gets a block return from Holger, and he's gonna be overcooking it down, long. So once more, we have a break point. The second set is looking very different thus far. One out of two on breakpoints, Zhang. 0 out of 3, Rune. Of course, all 3 were in the previous service game of the Chinese. So we're seeing the match kind of start to trend differently. But can he actually convert the advantage? Zhang, as usual, going T, but it's going to be long. So second serve here. It's an opportunity for the Dane. He has that slightly shorter ball here, doesn't fully capitalize. And Zhang is pretty comfortable hitting here, but will he make an error? Another short ball. Rune can't do much on that inside in, or maybe even cross-court forehand, depending how you look at it. But mostly he's just keeping Zhang, a little on the move in that backhand corner, and that patience eventually pays off. There's another switch up to the Rune forehand, and eventually we finally get that error from Zhang. Well, I mean, Rune definitely didn't play this point too bravely. That's, you can't say that. All of these forehands, like inside in or down the line, they just had 0 pace on them. But he kept Zhang in the backhand corner for the most part. He made sure not to miss, and it pays off as he is definitely getting more returns back in play this set in order to get this early break in the second. It's kind of the equivalent of the break that Zhang got in the previous set, right? Of course, there Triple Z was serving first. No, sorry, there Rune was serving first, and that's why it was 6-4. But now if they just keep holding from here, it's going to be 6-3, and it would also be the second game of the server that lost his delivery. But anyway, let's see. Now it's Rune throwing in a good drop shot. With the way that Zhang lifted the return, he was kind of at the mercy of Holger here. You can see the disguise on this was fantastic, though. Probably even better than it needed to be. But yeah, just making more returns this set is definitely the key for for Rune here. In the opening set, he literally didn't win a first serve return point, and I think in this set he's probably like what 50% on them. So yeah, it's a massive deal breaker so far. And now let's see if Zhang has any. Well, I mean, he definitely has intention to fight for this, but if he will have any shot to come back in this set. Well, Rune is kind of flying now as well with the extra confidence. He finds this backhand line, which is probably the best shot of the match so far. First time he goes for this, really, and first time it obviously lands as well. It's perfect in the corner there. Well, speaking of phenomenal backhands down the line, it's Zhizhen now coming up with the same. But he feels slightly less relevant considering he's already lost 40 down on return, so. But it was fun to watch them kind of back to back. Rune attacking the net, and he's gonna close it out 4-1. Berrettini broke Nori finally, and we'll see if that is going to be enough to take the second set. Lajovic serving for the second set against Kecmanovic. We've got Diallo as well, up a break on Nardi in the second. Oh, Ghosty is here. Finally, where were you? Oh, and Kren Boogie as well. Where is Monfils at? Of course, Monfils will be playing Giovanni Mpeci Pericard today. Did I just miss? Yeah, I guess I wasn't checking the chat for a while because at the beginning there wasn't that much in it. Fonseca to play Buenos Aires. I mean, yeah, that was always going to be the case, right? I know he's Brazilian, but like all the South American events should be giving him wildcards now. There's no way around it, really. Of course, Giovanni Galmonfils and Giovanni Pecci Pericards probably should be on the court sometime soon. I mean, if Raducanu wraps this Alexandrova breakfast up in 2 sets, then they will be. Zhang starts the second. No, sorry, it's not a double fault. I don't know. I thought it was a second serve. He did go like a little slow at it, so maybe that's why I did. I will be responding to the rest of the comments in the chat in a second. Yeah, Rune definitely taking over. So this set, he is on top of it. He would be very happy to take this in 2, of course. I mean, to take this second set with 2 breaks here. Gets this return 1-2 punch here. The first serve down the tee it has also left Zhang a little bit, but even when he's landing it, Rune is definitely getting more returns in play and reading it better. That's another just quick backhand error from Zhang, so it's love 30 now. As we might just get another quick set here, but this time going into, in Rune's favor. Love 30, 1-4. Goes T, but again, this isn't doing as much damage. However, the +1 forehand is. That's a massive, massive strike. I don't know who Fergus is, but when you first said I like Fergus, I was thinking of Fergus Murphy, of course, the umpire, but I don't know if he has good knowledge. In fact, a lot of players think he doesn't. Nick Kyrgios called him a potato once, I think. Do I think height is as important on the WTA as on the ATP? Probably not, given that the players on the WTA that tend to be the tallest, like we don't see them moving as well as the guy on the men's side, right? So if you have someone like Medvedev, Zverev, Del Potro, and all of them are so tall, but basically don't have that many like movement drawbacks, then that's where the height really helps them, right? And if you have the tallest women's players, it's Rybakina, it's Pliskova, and you kind of know that their first issue is going to be moving. They're never really like gonna be the most fluid. Whereas right now we're even seeing, I don't know, like Mpechi Pericard way above 2 meters, right? And he's so fast, so quick. We don't really get that yet on the WTA. Maybe we will at some point. But maybe that's why I'd say that the height isn't as important, as generally speaking on the WTA tour, the smaller players will have other advantages to cover up for it, whereas we don't really have that issue anymore on the ATP tour. Of course, Riley Opelka, John Isner, Ivo Karlovic, extreme examples, yes. But even the players who are 2 meters tall are now moving perfectly fine and can even afford to play games like Medvedev's, Zverev's, right, where there's a lot of defending, there's a lot of covering the court, and yet they are still able to sustain this and be one of the top guns in the sport. Well, there's going to be another breakpoint for Rune. Zhang double faulted at deuce. I mean, at this point, I wonder if the set isn't just done. But I guess if he wins this game, there would still be a chance from 2-4, but very soon we might just see him going down 2 breaks here. Rune approaching the net. There's going to be a lob from Zhang, which is good. Rune just trying to run around it, neutralize, try to lob, but Zhang should be putting away this smash, and he is. This was a real opportunity for that 5-1 lead. Again, if Rune would somehow lose the set from here, we'll be coming back to this point, that's for sure. Has Anisimova improved her fitness? I mean, we don't really know that. She finished her 2024 campaign with a retirement. So far this year, I guess it's been fine, but it's just like a few events, so we can't really know that, I suppose. Will we stream the Rublev Fonseca match? That is the plan, and hopefully it will work out. Zhang going down the line with his backhand again to get a game point, so could do this. I'm in 4K resolution on Twitch, apparently, according to Ozan Kabak, who changed his name, right? A little bit, at least. Of course, it was very similar, but at least a little bit. Ghosty enjoying the Stearns Navarro battle as expected. He is very big on Peyton. Nick Kyrgios called every umpire something. That is a fair point, yes. Yeah, I do think Fergus is probably one of the worst guys. Like, just in general, his ability to maybe like manage a situation is pretty poor. In the sense that when the guys are there's some sort of tension between the players, I think he very often just tends to fall behind a little bit and just not be able to keep up and get that drama a little bit, let's say, handled. But Layani, probably of the top umpires, though, still stands out as the one that just makes the most errors and kind of goes for his personality, tries to shine with it sometimes rather than actually focusing on doing the match. I think sometimes what people say is that the best umpire is the one you don't really notice. So that's not Layani, definitely not. I mean, he wants you to notice him, and sometimes he goes overboard with it. I still think that Kyrgios pep talk at the US Open years back, when Kyrgios was playing Herbert, and he kind of just started saying, "Nick, you have to try. You're too good. You're really good," or something like that. Like, that's, yeah. I mean, after this, I don't know if you should umpire again, but well. Well, that's a really nice backhand cross-court angle from Rune, wraps it up at the net. Both players very good so far at closing out their points there. 13 out of 15, I think it was for Holger, 9 out of 11 for Triple Z. They are definitely choosing their spots to approach pretty well too, just slamming a good shot, obviously, and wrapping up the point. 4-2 for Love, Rune. As so far, it doesn't seem like not getting that double break will be that important, but let's see. Throws in a good serve here, a lot of placement with the slice down the tee, and he's gonna put away the +1 forehand too. So 5-2. And yeah, let's see if this is actually going to change anything. The fact that he didn't get the double break. Who I got winning, Stearns or Navarro? I mean, at this stage, it's really not clear what Emma is doing this year. Like whether she's gonna be able to keep up that form. So I don't really know. By the way, Navarro Stearns 1-0. What do we mean with the banner? I mean, they're into the tie break, so. How high is Peyton Stearns' ceiling? Oh, she could be like a top 20 player at some point, maybe. I don't think that's horrible. Carlos Ramos, I mean, not umpiring anymore, but he did nothing wrong in that Serena Osaka match. I want that to be clear, that's for sure. You can very clearly see on the camera that Patrick was, doing coaching, which at the time was forbidden. Whether Serena saw it or not, that's like kind of another deal. And then she abuses him verbally, so. But yeah, I guess I did like the guy for the most part. There's this Italian umpire, whose name I'm forgetting, who's kind of like my favorite because years back at a challenger in Poland, I think he was very good at like diffusing the situation between Smirnov and Kachin, who were about to like fight with each other literally on the court. I think that was one of the few times when I was like sitting at a match and wow, I mean that was some good umpiring. And a lot of people fought like this. This was on an outside court. I think it was a quarterfinal, maybe the only quarterfinal played on the outside courts that day. And literally after the match, just a few people came to the umpire so that he can like sign their balls or something like that. This sound. That's what she said. Anyway, never mind. Anyway, he said that guys, no, the players should sign them. I'm not the star here, which was also pretty cool. Although I think eventually they did convince him to sign them, but me and the 5 people watching the match, we are all very impressed. Yeah, again, there's just so many returns coming back in play now from Rune, and Zhang is in trouble again at low 30. Even the smash is right back at Zhang's feet. He's trying to come up with something there on the spot, but it just lands in the middle of the net. One more amazing return from Holger. He's not going to be able to find the backhand pass on the run. But you can clearly see where the pressure on the Zhang serve is coming from this set. I mean, this is the 4th game of the set, right? On Zhang's serve. And every single one of them, he's had to face breakpoints. Or, well, this one not yet, but he's low 30, now 15-30. Well, now 30 all down, so maybe he won't have to save them this game, but let's just say he's been up against it the entire second set, is what I'm trying to say. It's very different to how the opener looked, obviously. When he was cruising, and Rune just literally had one bad game, which ended up granting Zhang every opportunity he needed to take the opening set. With the way that the match is trending right now, even if Zhang goes up a break in the 3rd set, we won't be certain that he's just going to run away with it. He does take this game, though, 4 points from low 30, so he's done his job here, and now it's just a question of whether Holger will be able to serve out or not. 66 minutes on the clock, so still pretty quick pace. But now this is the moment for Rune to level the match on his delivery. That magical serving for the set button or whatever appears. And well, it's a good start. Gets the slice return from the Chinese. course, they're showing the Rune box too as well. I mean, I was mentioning Jensen Lu a few times. There we have some familiar faces in Rune's box as well. The Danish coach who used to work with him, but then Muratoglu showed up, and then he started working with him again, and then Muratoglu showed up, and you know what I mean. Lars Christensen is back now. We've got Mike James as well, the analyst from Muratoglu's academy. I'm not sure I've seen his mom, which is always, she's always showing up at events really and playing one of the most important parts as well, but I'm not sure I've seen her today. It's a pretty slow first serve that Rune plays here, but should be good enough, it seems. Or maybe not, or maybe yes. Zhang gets to the drop shot and stretches for the backhand volley, but it's not going to get over the net. So just 3 set points for Rune, who has been basically untroubled this set on serve and pushing Zhang all the time. So a very dominant second set display, really. It could have been 6-1 easily. Probably more dominant than the opening set from the Chinese. But that was, on serve, Zhang was cruising in the opener, so I guess it was similar in that sense. Anyway, 70 minutes, 1 set all. The match is kind of beginning once more. Somewhere in the world, in fact, in Melbourne right now, Ben Rothenberg is saying, like, why did we need these first 2 sets? It should just be a best of 3 set match. And people are throwing stones at him. Berrettini is going to serve for the second set against Nori, so hoping to get into the same position as Rune has just gotten himself into here. Diallo Nardi 5-all in the second set, but Gabriel has a break point to go 6-5 up and serve for the second set. Who knows? Kecmanovic, Lajovic already into the third. We also have Manarino and Khachanov there at 5-2. Khachanov in the second set. And 3 men's matches starting right now. Fritz against Brooksby. So Jensen Brooksby is back after, 2 hours exactly? Yeah, almost 2 hours on the dot. I mean, I think it was the 23rd of January 2023 when he was last playing. So almost 2 hours. Yeah, I think Rune, by the way, only lost 1 point on serve this set? 2 points on serve this set? Just looking at the stats pretty quickly there. Yeah, he lost 1 point on serve this set, and Zhang won just 1 out of 7 on his second serve. Just 3 unforced errors for Rune as well, so much more in terms of the winners. Yeah, very dominant display on serve, and he was also returning much, much better than in the opener. Anyway, Chorich and Garin playing as well. That's the other men's match, and also Ugo Carabelli against Tien. No more developments so far on the women's side, I guess, but Riera is close to finishing off Haddad Maya now. If she can get that 6-5 lead here, Haddad Maya will have to serve to stay in it. Zheng and Andrieva getting a bit closer now, 5 games all. Raducanu is up a break still in that second set at 4-3. So close to taking the match right now as well. And Peyton Stearns took the opening set 7-5 against Navarro. I mean, Navarro, I know it's just been like a short period really, because it's just the Asian swing that was pretty poor for her. Like all the way into the US Open, obviously, she was still holding up very well. And the semi against Sabalenka also could have been a little more competitive if just a couple of points went the other way. But the Asian swing was poor. The start of the season is poor. And that just kind of takes us to a moment when we're like not treating her too seriously anymore. But we'll see if this is going to be wrong or not. I saw that there was like a Polish fan on Twitter who saw an Instagram predictions post about the WTA about the Australian Open women's singles, I should technically say. And that predictions post was like, winner, runner-up, seed to lose early, or like high seed to lose early and something more. And the guy was basically very worried because that account picked Iga Świątek as the seed to lose early. And I'm like, I mean, well, it's not a horrible opinion. Like, I can definitely understand if someone is making that call, why not? But then I saw that in that predictions post, Emma Navarro was mentioned as the runner-up. So that kind of undermined the credibility of that whoever was doing that predictions thing to me, because again, I just don't think that Emma is quite as strong as at the last few slams here, especially considering how much of a powerhouse the top 4 seems to be. And by the top 4, I mean Rybakina, not Paolini in it. It's kind of like in the Premier League, right? Where you have the top 6, and even though this isn't the actual top 6, I mean, United is like 25th in the Premier League, they still call it the top 6. Or I think the French league is worse in some rankings than like the Portuguese or the Dutch league right now, but you still call it the top 5. So it's kind of like that with Rybakina here as well. That in the rankings she's not top 4, but in my personal power ranking she definitely is. Zhang seems to have gone off the court for the toilet break, and Rune is just trying to keep himself warm, stretching. There's the Legionnaire hat, the Mark Polman's hat, as some call it, on the head of the line umpire. Pretty useful in Australia, I can imagine, considering all the sun. And I'm not talking about Lulu. Well, that girl is clearly Danish. That's like the most Danish person I've ever seen on my screen. The operator and the crowd having some fun with the, while Zhang is away. But he seems to be back now, so soon we're going to be starting again. Well, Matteo Berrettini did take that set, so it's 1-set all now against James's and Vansh's favorite Cam Norrie. Erika Andreeva will serve for the set. Ooh, the producer has disappeared. I'm gonna give him a couple of minutes before setting up the scores for myself. But maybe he's gonna be back, maybe not. I see the producer wasn't that keen on the Stearns slice earlier. Brooksby comeback, indeed. Tennis fans hate collectors, clearly. They want silent, humble players, but Kyrgios makes, and the Beefs makes it a sport. Yeah, I mean, I think some villains are needed. Nick does kind of go over the line, but that's another topic, I suppose. But if we just had good guys, if we just had Sinner playing Auger Aliassime in every single final, then that wouldn't be too exciting, I think. Oh yeah, I think it's pretty clear, Ghosty, to what you're saying about Kyrgios. Like yesterday, one of the best matches one of the most awaited matches of yesterday was a clash between a protected ranking Australian and a guy who's barely in the top 100, and that kind of says a lot already. Have I heard of Marcin Patrzałek? That's not a tennis player, is it? Is he? So if he's not a tennis player, I probably haven't heard of him. No, I don't know who that is. I don't think I do. Brooksby comeback is a go. Indeed, I don't think he's gonna have a shot today, really, considering 2 years out. But who knows? Maybe he just had enough, practicing that maybe somehow. Haddad Maya is gonna serve for the second set. That's quite interesting as well. As Zhizhen takes the opening game of the third set with a quick hold, the quickest one he's had since the opening set. So, he definitely needs it now. The producer is still not back. Let's make it best of 3 is my least favorite opinion. Yeah, exactly. And Ozan was talking about this too. Thoughts on some YouTube pundits wanting to get rid of best of 5 set matches. Yeah, I think it's completely bollocks. I mean, it's what makes the slams stand out, you know? It's no real like surprise that the matches we remember are the 5 setters. Every single slam, I actually see it when we're doing the last ball drops shows, that we are talking about the 5 setters on the men's side like constantly, and on the women's there's usually a lack of like classics to remember. And it's not because of the quality of play, it's not even because I enjoy the ATP tour more, which I do, but like it's not even that. It's just the fact that they don't get that same special feeling, and I hate it. I think we should all be playing best of 5 at a slam, because it just makes these events stand out a little bit more and stand out in a good way, be more memorable, provide a different challenge as well to what the regular tour is giving you. So yeah, it is also my least favorite opinion. I agree. I don't want to live in a world with no 5 setters at slams. I honestly would much rather see the fast four format introduced than that change. Or like I hate best of 5 only from the second week too. Like, yeah, this isn't what tennis is about. Grand Slam tennis is all about these early 5 setters in the opening week. And I understand some of the issues. Like, of course, yeah, no one is watching the entire 5 hours of Evans Khachanov at the US Open, but these are the stories we want to see build up, and yeah, I just don't think we should get away from this, as it would make the slams feel far less special. Especially maybe with how the ATP is really like pushing for the ATP 1000s to be a big thing now, right? Indian Wells, Miami, obviously they were always 2 weeks, but now we're gonna have so much more. Madrid, Rome, Cincinnati, Canada, 1.5 week events, Shanghai 2 week events. So yeah, I mean, I think it would be a massive mistake to kind of have 14 or 13 events like this during the year, rather than 4 that feel very, very, very special. And simply provide the best matches. I mean, it's easy to see how and why. Love 30 for Rune here. A bit of pressure, but he goes to the net and plays this very nice volley from below the tape here. Yeah, that shot from Zhang was so slow, but at the same time it was dipping. And yeah, that's never easy to handle. You can see that Triple Z is also like, I thought I had it. $15.30. He lands the return on the baseline. This is an opportunity for Zhang. He's up in the point. He's pressuring Rune. Not much coming out of that, though. So still in a neutral point, and Zhang tries to take it out of that neutral gear with a cross-court forehand winner attempt, but that's not going to be in. Once again, we lost the producer. Oh, yeah, he's back. The camera angle for the Tien versus Ugo Carabelli clash is absolutely awful, says Ozen Kavak. I'm actually kind of interested now. You got me you got me curious. I will have to switch to that match for at least a point in a moment to see how that looks. I mean, the angles that I hate, they are definitely the ones more like from the sky, right? Like rather than the ones of the court, really. Like court level points, court level view is my favorite. I think it's the one that shows you the most about the trajectory of the ball, about pretty much anything, really. Whenever I'm at an event, I like to sit right beside right behind the players, as low as possible. That's my favorite sitting spot for sure. And this is one that kind of imitates that. Camilo Carabelli Lerner TN live stream. Let's see. Anyway, Rune held in the meantime from love 30. Okay, this is the angle. So like it's kind of like pushed very forward into the court. I mean, I guess I don't hate it, but that means that Lerner and Camilo, they will be off the camera a lot. It's like very. This is weird. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, it's like so close to the baseline that with players like this, you're gonna see them like falling, from outside of the camera's view. So much here. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. That's a different way of horrible than I was assuming it would be based on your comments. Anyway, let's come back to Mr. Zhizhen Zhang and Mr. Holger Rune. Zhang didn't get to a breakpoint from love 30 in the previous game. A few regrets, but nothing crazy, I suppose. Especially if he can keep holding. Berrettini up a break in the third set already as well. 4-1 Kecmanovic in the third set. Fritz and Brooksby on serve thus far. Not much more to add regarding any of these clashes, to be honest. And Haddad Mayariera still not finishing. Zheng Andrieva also in the tiebreak now. Peyton with a set and a break lead. And we have Raducanu serving for the match, just 2 points away now. Let's watch this point as already the return of Rune is putting Zhang under some pressure. There's, he has to like just pick it up off the baseline. Then Rune has a lot of time to set up that cross-court forehand. Zhang not quite covering it on the run. So 15-30 now from the Chinese's perspective. Doesn't find the first serve here. That could be crucial too. As we remember in the second set, I think he only won 1 out of 7 second serve points. And it's a net court on return from Rune. I guess it kind of helps both guys. Some good anticipation from Zhang, but Holger still should find the pass, and he does with his back to the court, sort of. Yeah, this was a weird point because Rune found the perfect return, seemingly, but then it clips the net. So while it stays in and helps him in that sense, I mean, Zhang also got more time to respond to it, whereas I think usually he wouldn't be able to. Eventually, it's a drop shot from Rune that Zhang chases down, anticipates the volley well, but Rune still has enough time to produce that pass. And now it's 2 breakpoints as Rune can kind of confirm that he is turning the match around here. Trading backhands cross, and Zhizhen Zhang is going to be the first to make an error. So Rune is now a break up in the third set. Very, very much in control since the start of the second set, but let's see if Zhang has more in store for us today. Raducanu still 2 points away, but it's 30-all now. Maybe I can switch to that very quickly, see how the last few points will go, considering we have a changeover here. It's actually a breakpoint for Alexandrova now from love 30. Of course, this match was very break heavy, especially in the opening set. So perhaps that advantage of trying to serve it out isn't that massive, but still, she was 30 love up Raducanu. Radu, can you serve it out? And well, she won't be able to serve it out as she commits a double fault. So from 2 points away on serve, she is now, well, 8 points away once more. That's not ideal for the Brit. And not ideal for the fans of Gael Monfils, who will be forced to wait for his chance a little bit longer. Diallo-Nardi in another tiebreak. Still in the second set that match, despite starting about 30 minutes earlier than Zhang Rune. But yeah, Holger back to serve at 2-1. He's got Zhang on the move here. What can he do with this slice? He can put it away with the inside in forehand. Fritz up a break on Brooksby now, 4-2. And Lerner Tien is also up a break on Camilo Carabelli. Lerner, of course, has played a Grand Slam main draw 3 times already, losing in his opening round at all 3 US Open editions. Twice he earned his way into that event based on the Kalamazoo Championship, which is the USTA Nationals under 18s. And once, of course, last year, the wild card was kind of just for his pro achievements already. Last year, he took a set of Arthur Fields. In 2022, he took a set of Miomir Kecmanovic. In 2023, he didn't take a set of Francis Tiafoe. And now he's playing his first Grand Slam main draw outside the US, facing Camilo Carabelli, which is a very good draw and potentially can lead to him taking on Daniil Medvedev in the second round. As I said earlier, I mean, Cassie Samurai beating Daniil Medvedev, that just seems, that's just not happening. Rune trying to take this like kind of run around backhand on the half volley, dumps it into the net, but still 30-15 up. That should be a really good serve, yeah. 200 on the clock. Tries to go a bit bigger on the second serve at 40-15. That doesn't pan out. We see a rare Rune one-handed backhand as well when the ball got to his side of the net. Of course, that wasn't a shot he was ever like intending to make, but if you were wondering how would Holger Rune's one-handed backhand look, that was the example for you. I can't say I ever wondered about that, but well, goes T for an ace here, so 3-1. Well, I can't say another routine hold because the previous one wasn't. But of course, the trends that we've been kind of like witnessing since the beginning of the second set, they're still holding up. And it's one more time, it's Rune with the early break, which last time he was able to just take all the way until until leveling the match. Even had more chances to like get up a double break. Eventually didn't. Let's see if he can produce something like that here. Zhang's +1 forehand is doing a decent amount of damage here. Rune will get a chance for a lob, but it's just way too short, right? Yeah. Yeah, that didn't really make an impression. Ace out wide from the Chinese. Some stats from Infosys on the forehand heaviness. 7.25 for Zhang and 7.18 for Rune, whatever that means and whatever they're trying to tell us with this. I mean, you'd think Zhang has a lot more forehand heaviness than Rune generally, but maybe not. Yeah, some of these contact points on the backhand, especially if the rally goes a bit longer, they do go off for Zhang a little bit. But it's another decent serve tee to give him a 40-15 advantage as he is trying to keep himself within touching distance of the Dane. Goes for the serve and volley, 40-15 again. He pays the price. No, actually, not again, because the last time he did it was 30-15, sorry. Yeah, so I guess 40-15, that's fine. 40 love when he went for it the first set, that's definitely okay. 40-15, I guess, is okay too, but 30-15, I remember thinking that, like, yeah, it's a little bold. But I wanted to say that, you know what? I mean, all's well that ends well, but actually not. Was that a close call, really? I mean, they're going to show us the close call, but oh, actually, okay, yeah, it was relatively close on that forehand cross court from Zhang, but it's deuce anyway now, with just some pretty good Rune scrambling. 26 unforced errors for Zhang, 14 for Rune. I mean, it's not even like the error count of Zhang is skyrocketing, it's just skyrocketing compared to Rune's, who basically stopped missing the last two sets, especially as, most of these rallies here, Zhang will be in charge. Well, Rune has to say sorry, but it was still a very good effort on the passing shot. It just clipped the net and ended up being completely just impossible to respond to. I don't think Zhang was making it anyway, though. Yeah, definitely not when you watch the replay. If it goes over without tripping over the tape, let's say. Anyway, it's a chance to go double break up. So this is very much like the previous set when these opportunities were also there for Rune. Now we get to see if the difference will be that this time he takes them or takes it. Not really. It's a very strong second serve from Zhang. At the body, deep at the middle, 173 second serve. Pace on the second serve. And once more, he is avoiding he's avoiding the double break deficit, and with that, probably also avoiding losing the set right on the spot. Interesting rally. There was a shorter ball from Zhang that actually forced Rune to lift it a bit and to slice off his forehand. So that was very helpful to the Chinese, I think. But the rally is, it keeps going. It's one of the longest points of the match. There's really not much like opportunity for Zhang to up the pace that much. He does with the backhand cross, but like Rune is still in this, despite that strike being so good. But eventually it's Rune who's gonna like gas out a little bit more quickly in this rally. Misses the backhand cross like for the he played like 10 in this rally and eventually he misses one. Yeah, probably the longest rally of the match. I don't know, they might show it to us, they might not. I'd say 20 shots more or less. $27. Okay, so even higher. I honestly went a bit lower. I lowballed this because I tend to like overrate how long the rally was. I've had instances on these commentaries before when I'm like, oh yeah, this was like a 30-40 shot rally, and then they show that it was 18 and I feel stupid. So that's why I lowballed it a little. I also tend to overrate how long the rallies was in my matches. Many times I've said to somebody, we were just playing long rallies, like 30-40 shot rallies. And we definitely weren't playing 30-40 shot rallies. Anyway, not important at the moment, I guess. All right, let's catch up with the chat a little bit. I think there was also a question about some challengers earlier from Sean that I forgot to get to. Yeah, when you go to challengers, do you see a lot of the same diehard tennis people every year? I mean, in terms of the same challengers, yes, but there are very few events there are very few challenger fans that tend to like travel to events every, to other countries and everything. No, but if you meet the same events, so like yeah, there's a lot of people that I kind of know from the crowd and at the events I've been to a few times. Yes, which is mostly Poland, right? I mean, I've been to the event in Bratislava twice, and I guess otherwise just mostly Polish events. But yeah, it tends to be that, yeah, I remember some people from Szczecin or from Poznań by now, and they're there every year. But every year is probably the answer rather than actually like every week or every month, right? Most people won't be traveling to watch challenger events, or at least not travel outside of the countries. I was unsurprised with how well Emma is playing, but I'm not happy with the jinx. And how is Emma playing? Okay, she's into the tie break. Yeah, I think we might watch that breaker then. Just as Rune and Zhang, they, for now at least, seem to be headed into another one of these sets where the early break does the trick, but we'll see. Of course, we'll be monitoring the situation there. But maybe I will just catch the tie break between Alexandrova and Raducanu then. Just quickly, I'll also catch up on the rest of the chat then. 14 double faults, okay. Stearns' first top 10 win. Huh, interesting. I mean, she had that match against Sabalenka in Indian Wells, but of course she didn't win it in the end. I agree, Ghosty. I mean, watching tennis is a full-time job anyway. Has my opinion on Emma changed since we last spoke? Huh, interesting. Probably not. Probably not. I guess I'm still on the same page. Like, she gets a full season, she's probably gonna be in like the top 30 or thereabouts, with a lot of good health and momentum. She could become one of these like second tier, third tier contenders to win a slam again. I doubt she's ever gonna be like, Sabalenka, Świątek or something like that, or Goff especially. I guess we should be mentioning Coco in that conversation now too. But yeah, I think she should be up there at least. That was a very nice opening point from her, and now Alexandrova is going a bit for a bit too much now to give Emma the first mini break. Raducanu, of course, could play Świątek here, but she also has to face Anisimova in the second round, right? So kind of to give you maybe also another clue in terms of where I rank Raducanu right now, I would not be considering her the favorite over Anisimova. Not sure if I was considering her the favorite over Alexandrova. Maybe considering the concerns about her physical state, probably not, but she's got the mini break still and a 3-love lead now in the second set tie break. So the chance to take that match is sort of like slowly emerging again. Great backhand return, but can she capitalize on that? Well, not really. They're just playing the points from the start, really. But it is Alexandrova who's gonna miss her backhand line, so it's 4-0 now, and a very clear advantage for Emma. I'm so far behind. Yeah, I know. For some reason, today has been pretty tough for me. Oh, and we've got Vansh on the board. Hello.
What's up? I couldn't join earlier at the start of play, but I have been keeping up with everything, so.
Cool. I actually didn't know you were gonna join. I thought I was gonna just be here by myself until the end. But yeah, I'm just watching the tiebreak between Raducanu and Alexandrova now. Oh, that's lovely from Emma here. 2 mini breaks now, 5-0. I mean, if there was a clear chance to take the match 30 love at 5-4, definitely this is even stronger now. That's 3 mini breaks and 5-0. So seems like she should be taking this match. That was a beautiful forehand whip wrap up. And yeah, just 2 points away again.
I'm watching Emma R trying to close out the match and Emma N trying to extend the match.
Sworna, yeah, that's kind of funny, but that's probably true. In Poland, though, the biggest rival of Świątek is literally everybody. You're gonna get all these headlines like Świątek's rival does whatever, and then you realize that it's, I don't know, Polona Herzog, whom she played in 2019, something like that. Basically, it's always like Świątek something, Świątek in trouble after the opponent looks good or something like that, and it's, I don't know, Katie Volinets. Yeah. 6 match points for Raducanu. It's pretty rare to see this. It's pretty rare to see a tiebreak won 7-0 by one player. It's over 2 hours on the clock as well, so a pretty physical match. But looks like it's coming to an end here. Let's see if Emma can just wrap it up with that bagel tiebreak, which is probably even more rare than the bagel set, I would assume. Especially on the ATP Tour, maybe, but even on the WTA. Anyway, second serve. She's made so many double faults today, and obviously on match point, she's also going to make one. But still 5 incoming. Nurlan is missing in action. Yeah, maybe that's just the thing, you know. He just doesn't want to see Iga playing well, so he's gonna tune in when she loses, and he's gonna say, "I always predicted this. I knew that Iga would crash out early."
Mario is playing Djokovic next.
Mari? Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
And he's going to win in straight sets, right?
Dino Mahac is playing doubles with Zhang at the Australian Open. I honestly didn't check the entry list, but they were playing it last year and, of course, reached the semifinals. So it's a very good doubles pairing. They have this like nice, Mahac is such a good returner, and Zhang has the reach and the big serve. I think they have a nice combination. Anyway, great return down the line of the forehand from Raducanu. I feel like even though I've only watched a few games from this match, I've seen this particular shot like 5 times. And she gets the win, 7-6, 7-6 over Ekaterina Alexandrova. Should be one of the more exciting matchups of the second round as well for her, before she likely could face Iga Świątek in the third round.
What was the score for Anisimova today?
6-2, 6-3.
Okay. Yeah, I did not watch that, but I assume she was going to win that one pretty comfortably.
Yeah, she did play like a pretty scandalous pusher, so.
Yeah, so yeah.
Kicks and Cock are back at it again. Indeed, Ghosty, but both of them look pretty banged up physically, so we'll see how that goes. In the doubles, maybe they'll be fine.
Well, as Emma R has just won her first round match, Emma N is up a break in the second set. Over Peyton Stearns. They also had a pretty good, exciting first set there. There were like 3 exchange breaks, and Peyton finally won at 7-5 at the tiebreak.
Yeah, Fritz all over Brooksby, but then again, it's not really something we didn't expect. Being out for 2 years isn't exactly the best warm-up for the Australian Open. We also have Ugo Carabelli breaking back against Lerner Tien. As I said, I do think there is a way for this match to be pretty long if it's like just a total dogfight of the ground. And well, Matteo Berrettini up to sets to 1 on Cameron Norrie now. Seems like he's really turned the corner himself there. And of course, Holger, Rune, Zhizhen, Zhang still going, well, not on serve in the third set, but like with serve the last few games. 40-15 now for Rune as he's trying to secure a 5-3 lead.
Yeah. Rune really studied that chip after that game that he got broken in the first set, where he went for that under the legs, or no, kind of like a tweener as he hit that.
Yeah, that was that game, right? That was like the first point or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, since then he hasn't been troubled on serve, and he's getting so many returns in play now compared to the opener. So that's really helping him, of course, turn the match around. I mean, since that game, I guess it's been more or less what we expected, or rather since the second set, in the sense that like Rune is too good a defender and just too versatile of a player, really. But who knows? Maybe there's like still some Zhang peaking left.
Yeah. Norrie, by the way, after winning that first set in the tiebreak from 1-4 down and saving the set point before the tiebreak, he got broken in 2-all in the second set. But in all the games that he got broken in the third set, he was up 40-15 in every single one. So that has to feel horrible. And the third set, he really kind of let slip away. And Berrettini just looks so good now, like just taking total control with his forehand. And before Nori was kind of the one who was able to make some inroads, get in on Berrettini's backhand, make him hit approach shots with it. But it seems like Nori will need something very special to come back in 2-1.
So you're saying I have a lot of reasons to be proud of so far as a fanboy who hasn't
Yes.
even
Yes.
turned it on for even a point.
Yes. But inside, you're so happy. You're just so craving that Berrettini second round.
My gray and blank soul isn't as gray and blank anymore. Well, I mean, he's just 2-1 up, but I mean, obviously, I would like to see Berrettini Rune in the second round.
Yes, Warna, I am a Cam Nori appreciator, for sure. I don't know about fan, but yes, I really appreciate his game and how he's made it as far as he has. And maybe that's just because of my watching experience. Because before, no, I really didn't. Like most of 2021, I was like, how is this guy winning? And then I watched him live, like, okay, I can see how he's troubling a lot of players.
Yeah, I like that. How is this guy winning is definitely a sentence that has been said about Cam Nori many, many times since he began his career. No one could have predicted the rise that he was going to have into the top 10, winning an ATP 1000, making a slam semi. But, well, I mean, even more appreciated that he was able to do it.
Yeah.
Well, some of the stats that the TV crew is showing us today are just absolutely ridiculous in the sense that they're not really saying anything. Like Rune's forehand placement in sets 2 and 3, 40% to Zhang's backhand, 49% to Zhang's forehand. And there's no comparison with like set 1. So what exactly is this supposed to tell me? Or there was this like forehand heaviness earlier, where forehand heaviness for Zhang was 725 and for Rune it was 718. Thank you. Great info. What am I supposed to do with that?
It doesn't tell you anything, really. I don't know what to discern from that, really.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. Are they still showing the win predictor stuff?
I don't know. Haven't really seen it yet. I mean, it's just kind of odds really, but just shown in a different way.
Yeah, Navarro. That was a bit of a shocking game, honestly, after going off a break. Yeah, this section, the Navarro Stearns section, it feels open, like as in a number of players could really get to that potential quarterfinal. That's Iga's quarter. 77% for Kyrgios yesterday. Wow.
On what?
I'm not really that surprised. The comment from Joao in the chat.
The win predictor. I mean that's kind of BS because that doesn't reflect what the odds were right before the match.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they're taking this, where they are taking this win predictor thing from, really. But either way, I mean, if they're taking it from some sort of like ELO ratings, then maybe, because of course ELO doesn't introduce ELO doesn't include injuries really, so, or at least doesn't include them in in the same way that's the actual rankings would. So maybe they have their own system, and it's just not including the fact that Nick hadn't played for 2 years. Then maybe I can understand that. Brooksby is a 50-50 against Fritz in that system, but no, he's actually not. Well, still cruising, Holger Rune, two set points up now. Any of these like longer backhand exchanges, it also doesn't feel like, despite like the bombing power that Zhang has on his ground strokes, it doesn't really feel like he is able to utilize it too well at the moment. A lot of these neutral exchanges, he's just like stuck in them and stuck for good. Like there's no openings for him really to take advantage of. He can't create them at the very least, and it's gonna be 40-15 for Rune. 2 set points. Can he claim it right away? Probably can, given he's got Zhang on the stretch. And, well, actually, the point is still going. Some people are sometimes complaining about Zhang's movement. And, well, I think they're harsh a little, but he still loses the point. 2 sets to 1 up, Rune.
Yeah, I think if you're a Holger Rune fan, like, you'll be happy with the way he played the last 2 sets, because there was actually a clear game plan here. And he kind of, well, he needed some time, but he figured out that he doesn't need to actually go for too much on his own. He can kind of just rely on his defense.
Yeah, I think if you're a Holger Rune fan, you're still kind of thinking, well, he's playing Zhang here. He probably will play Berrettini in the second round. He might play Hurkacz in the third round. Like, we are still in deep trouble, but yeah, it hasn't felt like a close match yet. Even though he lost the opening set, it since then it hasn't really felt like it's a close match. If this is also how the third set is going to look, we're still gonna call this a controlled performance despite losing the opening set. And congrats, we've got our first winner of the day on the men's side, and it is Karen Hachanov defeating Adrian Manarino. Camilo Carabelli also with the opening set over Lerner Tien.
Oh, I haven't watched any of that, actually.
Yeah, I would not be surprised, honestly, because, like, Lerner's style is so weird, and when you play somebody who doesn't, like, all-out attack you, I think things like this can happen. I was just saying, like, an hour ago that Ugo Carabelli, yeah, this will be, like, much closer, probably, than people think. Same with, actually, Boyer Coria. I think that also might be a little dicey.
Yeah,
although for very different reasons.
Serve, honestly, because it's very underpowered, and I don't know if at this level he'll be able to outsmart that many opponents, like he was at the next gen finals.
Yeah, I mean, definitely on courts like this, it's less effective. But to his credit, against Kowalik in the final qualifying round, like, I thought it's kind of the same matchup as against Ugo Carabelli in many ways. And he was actually able to just make it very serve-oriented. Like, Kowalik had 1 breakpoint, and that was in the very last game.
Yeah, I guess what he makes here in terms of the lack of pace is he can hit spots, and he's a lefty, so it helps set up his attacks at least. So it's not just like.
Being a lefty is the only thing he has, really.
Yeah.
What do I mean? Tien's style is weird. I mean, it's just, unique, not much pace, counter punchy. You kind of have to play what the opponent gives you and drag them down to your level a lot. It's just not exactly, a typical way, especially in modern tennis. And I think unique playstyles just tend to produce results that maybe sometimes will surprise you. Some players will be very good against his style, and some, uncharacteristically good against his style, and some players will be uncharacteristically poor against his style. So
he's actually got a little talent way in that sense as well, right? So
come again?
A little bit of Cam as well in Lerner.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they are pretty similar. Their Hong Kong match as well was a good description, the depiction of that. Yeah, they are actually quite similar. And when you looked at kind of like Lerner's form coming into this event, and you knew that he only had this like 1 match with Cam, I wasn't really looking at it as any like real portrayal of how well he's playing, because it's just a match between 2 very similar players. And then again, it just gets kind of, it's just atypical. And I think these sort of like unique playstyles, they tend to be very unpredictable. You never truly know who's going to struggle against a guy like this, and you never truly know who's going to be just, I don't know, feeling very comfortable for whatever reason. Of course, guys with a weaker backhand, it seems like they will be in trouble, and they might really just not do anything on the return of serve, which against Lerner should be one of your main advantages, really. So I guess if he plays like a Zverev, that's probably like the worst matchup that Tien can get on the tour now.
Yes, he will struggle a lot. And potentially Medvedev in the second round if he gets to. I don't see.
Yeah, I
him.
was thinking of Medvedev too, of course, given that they're playing here. Zverev probably worse, but yeah, I can imagine that. Daniil, at least though, Daniil also has a weird style of his own, right? And it might once again be this sort of like a chess match. Like when
Yeah.
two players like this meet, it kind of becomes like a chess match. It's not just typical, Zhang, Rune, we hit a good serve, hit a good forehand, and that's like 50% of the points. It becomes just more of a tactical clash, and these just tend to go completely different to what you would expect.
Yes, apologies. My mic might not be connected.
I feel like this is much better now. Okay, cool.
Counter puncher who drags you down, is that really uncommon? I mean, definitely Lerner has a more, I don't know, unique ball than most counter punchers, really.
Okay, Navarro plays a very good service game actually on 4-5, and we're going the distance in the second set. Oh, shocker! Haddad Maya is getting close to 3 hours.
Yeah, all the fans of Hubert Hurkacz are just terrified right now because he's supposed to play after Beatriz Haddad Maya, and that's always gonna be 3 hours.
Because
all the 10 fans of Hubert Hurkacz's game. Anyway.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know there were 10.
What are we doing to put Hubi here? Yeah, anyway, Yafan Wang as well defeated Anna Bondar despite losing the opening set. Andreeva did finish off Zhang. We still have Emma Navarro and Peyton Stearns fighting each other, but there's 2 women's matches going on right now. Right now it's men's time in Australia, with basically everybody playing at the moment. Fritz is just 6-5 of Apple Brooksby. That's brutal, but what else would you expect?
Yeah,
Nardi and Diallo also locked in a great one.
Was the last time he played a match was second round here 2 years ago. So literally 2 years. Third round, yes, because Casper was the second round. Correct.
Yeah, and Tommy Paul was the third one, and I think it's literally like 9 days removed from a full 2 years. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of wild he has a protected ranking considering the suspension, but like he must have filed for it right before. But yeah, I guess he came to the system a little bit here. Ooh, Rune trying to play this very low dipping backhand volley again. He had one that worked out for him in the previous set, but this is going to take him to 30 all. Wasn't that far off, I guess, but still such a tough shot to make. Was just a little behind on the timing there. Well, maybe this is some opportunity for Zhang. Actually, the previous set as well, like Zhang had a low 30 in the second game of it, and that was like kind of the end of his chances last set. So maybe this will also be pretty similar, that opening game of the fourth set on the Rune serve. There's actually an opportunity here.
Okay, Navarro playing a lot steadier now. Just kind of relying on her steady baseline game, good margin, high heavy ground strokes. She has 2 breakpoints to serve for the set.
And is Peyton playing much Stearns here? Sorry.
Wait, actually. No, okay, that was good. Yeah. So she does save the first one. Oh my goodness, yeah, Haddad Maya's on the court before Shelton and Nakashima. Okay, yeah, I figured that was the same court. But that should be coming up pretty soon, as Haddad Maya can close this one out.
First win on the board, potentially, this year for Haddad Maya.
Yep, I know somebody who actually picked her to win the title, or picked her to win a major this year.
I mean, that's just a fan of Beatriz Maya, huh?
It has to be, because there's no logical reason to pick her.
Yeah, like it could happen technically. Like it's not impossible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, picking it and kind of having confidence in it, that kind of smells like a fun prediction to me. You know, I think Kamil Majchrzak might win a slam this year.
Yeah. Or like, James.
By the way, that's the Zhang box is getting really fired up now. This is the first time in the match really where after Rune drop shot, he's able to come up with something, and that wide angle is good enough to give him a break point here. And well, this is the chance.
That was a little bit of a tired miss, and Stearns gets broken here, so Navarro will serve for the set. And we also have Pechi Pericard and Monfils on the court now.
Yeah, they were coming on after Alexandrova Raducanu. Zhang kinda in control of the point. Rune just defending and scrambling for his life. But he survives for now at the very least. Raises the ball here. Backhand cross from Zhang. Ooh, wow, this is definitely one of the better rallies of the match. And Rune survives again. Few points in this rally for sure where he was just like completely out of it seemingly, but once again the anticipation, the speed, the defense, it does the trick.
Yeah.
And like the first time that Rune actually got to hit a shot in this rally, because all the time he was on the back foot, he was just like, responding and using Zhang space. And the first time he got to hit something, the spin quality actually on his forehand, interestingly, was the thing that I think made forced the error sort of, even if it's still gonna be in the unforced error category.
Yeah, there was a lot of spin on those forehands, especially going cross court. Yeah, I would probably favor Navarro if it goes 3, but honestly, Stearns has shown that she can last the distance physically. I don't think she's like a pushover. I mean, she played that match against Sabalenka, and I mean, she tends to play these really epic matches, but usually doesn't come out on top. So if she got a big win like this, that would be kind of her going to the next level. I mean, actually, next level would be beat Navarro and then get to the quarters. Like, actually take her spot in the draw. That would be like, okay, Peyton Stearns is coming.
Young Monfils could have been the perfect opponent for GMP. Do you mean like perfect in the sense that he would beat them, or? Because I guess that would be like the juxtaposition, comparison to today, right? Because we are assuming that old Monfils probably won't be able to do much. I don't know. I don't know. Like mostly while I'm thinking that GMP probably takes that is the Age of Gael, the best of 5 format, the Auckland title run. So I guess, but yeah, I mean, technically maybe it could have been a decent matchup in another era.
Yeah, I'm giving Nakashima a pretty good chance. I think it's. I mean, I would say Ben is still the favorite, but I don't know, like 47, 48%, somewhere between 45 and 50. Like
Not
it's one of those
scared of
matches.
the Nakashima start of the season.
Not really. I mean, he's had one bad match since the US Open, and that was before this. But
did he have 3 bad matches so far this year or something like that?
No, just his last loss was probably the worst. But I mean, he was still almost. It was just really the tiebreak, right? 4-2 till the end.
Who did he lose to? Hijikata? And Sonego?
Yeah. I watched the Sonego match, and that was Brandon's level was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the Hijikata one, yeah, that's the match in a long time that I was like, okay, like Brandon lost a match that he should have, like, quote unquote bad loss, you know. But actually, Brandon has never won. He's never won a match in Australia in the main draw so far in his career.
Last year didn't even win a match in the qualifying, with Jakub proving too good in the opening round. But he did make the Canberra semis.
Yep, and the year before he loses to McDonald in 5.
Yeah, doesn't play Rafa, where it could have been a free win on the day.
Yep. And then the year before that he loses to Berrettini in 4.
Okay.
So. Oh, and the year that Karatsev made the run. Karatsev,
yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, wasn't there another amazing qualifying match in 21 between him and Karatsev?
Him and Karatsev. And
was that a first round as well of the qualifying, or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, just mean Monfils is gonna give him a match with all the running around and jumping. Yeah, I mean, right now probably not, but back in the day, sure.
Ooh, and Navarro is kind of faltered here at Deuce. It's kind of a routine mess. Wasn't really pressured in any way. Yeah, a lot of breaks in this match. I mean, we might end up getting 7-6, 7-6, but it's like 5 breaks each.
Yeah, won't be your typical 7-6, 7-6.
Oh, and this is a really nice point here on break point for Emma, and Stearns actually does really well to recover the first overhead. Navarro smartly lets it bounce. Gets so low on the smash. And Stearns unable to block the forehand back into place, so she saves the break point.
I'm sure you were extremely pleased to see that Joao Fonseca was invited to play in Buenos Aires. I mean, if he's going to win 2 Golden Swing titles, as you predicted yesterday, then he has to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know how serious I was when I made that prediction. I was just like, oh, yeah, he could go there. He could win a couple of titles. But honestly, yeah, Buenos Aires, he could win it for sure. I mean, at this point, it's like, it's not even that bold. It's like, I'm just jumping. Like, everybody's on the Fonseca train. I don't know a single person who isn't. Like, is there anybody who's like not high on Fonseca?
In the chat, sometimes people show up.
Fonseca doubters? Like, I doubt there are any. Oh, okay, so we have Rune breaking back here. For 2-all. There's a break at love. Never mind, I read that wrong. So another break point here for Stearns. And this time she gets it. And once again, it's that high, heavy forehand that just backs Navarro up behind the baseline. And Navarro's trying to drive it through, but doesn't get enough shape on it. And it's not going to clear the net. So, second set tiebreak. Super Dave in the chat. Yeah, so nothing to do with his tennis, Dave. Just his neck. That's brilliant.
What's the final prediction that the guys are talking about in the chat, in our group chat? No idea.
I'm not looking.
Maybe someone picked Navarro to make the final as well. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just guessing, really, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe they did. I mean, if Navarro makes the final, that would be quite crazy. She'd have gone third round, fourth round, quarters, semis, final. That means she's winning the French Open. Oh, and that is a fantastic point from Navarro to get the mini break here. In the tie break, really good forehand cross court, gets Peyton stretched out wide. Peyton doesn't get enough depth on the forehand, and then Navarro just leans in, makes this backhand, and she's missed a few backhands like this in this match as well, where it's gotten too high up on her shoulders, but this was actually a very clean contact, and Stearns is left shrugging her shoulders. But her first serve percentage has dipped quite a bit, and Stearns is a very aggressive second serve returner, especially if she runs around her backhand on the outside. So, and right on cue, as Stearns runs around her backhand and hits a really heavy inside-out forehand and forces the error. So, mini break has been retrieved.
Shocker, Beatriz Haddad-Maia did not go 3 hours. But she does get her first win of 2025.
Okay. The first serve really deserting Emma right now. Let's see how aggressive Stearns will be on this second serve. And once again, she chooses to be really aggressive. I don't know if she picked the right target. I would have gone cross court there with the success she's been having with that pattern, but she goes down the line and she tries to thread the needle, misses it. So Navarro for now is ahead 2-1. Yes, I know what you mean, Ghosty, except she's way behind the baseline, whereas Collins is usually hugging the baseline and on her returns. Collins basically never gives any ground. She's like ultra aggressive. Whereas, I don't know, I mean, Stearns is like aggressive, but in the Jen Brady form, you know? Like the... Actually, a very good clay court player. Her only title coming in Rabat last year. Didn't she have that crazy comeback in Rabat where she came back from like love 5 or something in the third set?
Yes.
I feel like she had multiple crazy comebacks to win that tournament.
Yes.
Oh, and this time Navarro says, you want to see an aggressive return? I'll give you one on the backhand. And I'm going to step in and I'm going to take this really early cross court for a winner. So she goes up 3-1.
Vansh is delightfully excited about this match.
No, I mean the quality is good. I'm enjoying the rallies. Like the chess is interesting. Or they're kind of like raising each other in the tiebreak so far. Oh, and once again, really aggressive return from Navarro. And this time Stearns is on the back foot. Can she get the forehand back into play? No, that is going to drift. So Navarro is up 2 breaks.
Ozan, I only play doubles like very occasionally. There's like this one tournament a year I play, and we don't really practice for it. So, as you can imagine, I'm not too good in doubles.
Oh yeah, table tennis doubles is not fun. It's really not. So,
like, you know, when we play it one time a year, it's fun because it's like so different and we just have fun, right? In the singles, we're all like so focused, and in doubles, we're just, you know, having a lot of fun and kind of it's hilarious what's happening because nobody knows how to play it. I feel like I'm
because
like,
you have to hit it. You have to hit the ball and then you have to get out of the way and then let the other person come in.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like that, right?
There's a lot of mishaps with this, you know. So it's just a ton of fun. I enjoyed it when I used to play like mixed. I played like 3 or 4 mixed events as well in my life, and that was super fun too. Just such a different feeling to the usual, you know, singles pressure. But yeah, I never really practiced doubles. I feel like I'm pretty good at like just keeping the ball low and let's say, you know, coming into these like weird rallies that we're gonna get there. But I don't feel like it suits me generally. The serve return is so important, and that's kind of where my game sucks. So yeah, I don't practice it at all. No, I don't.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Stearns this time really aggressive on the return, but on the Navarro first serve, so she cracked a winner on that last point before they changed ends on the forehand. And now they're like getting into this forehand to forehand exchange, and Navarro is leaning left because she's thinking this is going to come to her backhand, but the last second she doesn't split step in time, and now Navarro is in trouble, and Stearns is taking advantage of these loopier shots that just landed a little bit short. 17 forehand winners in this match for Stearns to 9 for Navarro. So forehand coming through in the big moments so far for Peyton. Yeah, the loopy forehand is generally the shot that she's most comfortable with. But in this matchup, it's not working for her. I mean, she's stretched so far out here on the inside out. She goes to the slice and actually does a pretty good job. And Stearns has to work pretty hard to run around this backhand. She does really good footwork here. And she manages to find a really nice inside out angle. And Navarro, even with her great speed, can't get to it. So it's 4-all. So she's now won 3 points in a row. And these are 3 really good points from her. 3 winners, actually, on all points. So
you're right that the area is already small, but like, well, that's why you have to swap between the shots, right? In tennis, you have a greater area of the court, so you don't have to do it. So I guess it's fine.
Oh. And yeah, this is another really good rally right here at 4-all. Navarro kind of resetting it with her defense, and this time she actually goes big on a forehand herself, and she didn't have that much pace to work with. It was just a lot of height from Stearns' heaviness. And she wins it on the 12th shot of her rally as Stearns can't defend the forehand corner. So Navarro will serve with a mini break again. And yeah, this tiebreak has been really good. Like 5 winners and 8 points and long rallies as well. So this might be the best part of the match. Actually, I think it probably is easily. As Navarro is up 5-4, and this time she set up this point really nicely. Using the kick serve to Stearns' backhand, and then just kind of moving Peyton around, waiting for the shorter ball, and then going cross court with the forehand. And she's shown some decent conviction on that forehand, not hitting it as loopier in these last couple of points, but actually giving it some nice injection of pace too. So that's when Stearns' forehand is Navarro's forehand is at its best. 6-4 for Emma on serve here. She makes the first serve, doesn't really do too much with it, just kind of spins it in, and now they're trading backhand to backhand. Stearns is really looking for that forehand. She really wants to get that into play, and she's going to go for a drop shot here on the backhand. And oh my, Navarro gets to it, but doesn't do quite enough. She punches it deep down the line, and Stearns hits a forehand winner down the line. Wow, at first I thought the drop shot was just going to float up, but actually it kind of stayed pretty low, skidded. It made it pretty uncomfortable for Emma, and she didn't quite get enough on this backhand retrieval. So, mini break retrieved. And once again, another Stearns forehand winner. Oh, and her coach is super happy. And Navarro is just like disgusted. She's like, I can't believe, Peyton, you've come up with this. All right, so 4th set point here for Navarro. And she will have a second serve look here. Looks like she wants to be aggressive and step inside the court on it. And she does. She steps in, but the second serve has missed. So it's a double fault. That's an unfortunate way to end such a great tiebreak from both players. And we're going to a 3rd set, and both of them have split 7-5 tiebreaks. Well, definitely the match of the tournament, if you want to call it that, on the women's side so far at least. There haven't been that many candidates, right?
But you cannot see the producer, right? You cannot, right?
No, I can't see
Yeah,
him.
he's laughing. He's just like straight up laughing. Oh, he's on the floor. If he wasn't already in bed, he would be just on the floor right now.
Okay, yeah. Wow, you haven't even said anything.
You're probably right, to be honest. I love the enthusiasm. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a really fun tiebreak. I don't know what else to say. It actually really delivered.
We're laughing, but we mean it in the best way possible. And
Yeah.
there's been a few like deciding set breakers yesterday on the women's side, but the problem is that they were all in matches that nobody cared about.
Yeah. Whereas this one is kind of more impactful in terms of one of the top seeds.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, nobody watched really like Minen Ayava or Marti Christian or even Uchiyama. Yeah. So that's kind of the problem with some of the like close matches that were happening yesterday. Zhang, by the way, is now holding at least, and it's 4-3, and in fact he's gonna have a low 30 chance here. So it might be that we have another twist in this one. I think there was also an earlier Rune game which was kind of tricky. So like this is the opportunity, of course, for ZZZ to potentially step in, take us to that fifth set. It's really been a while since he felt like a competitive opponent for Rune in this match, probably since the end of the first set, really. But now it's happening again. And obviously it all just started with a few holds. It all just started by not going down that early break in the decider. In the fourth set. But now, of course, this is where he also has to actually provide the break points at the very least from low 30. This was definitely a makeable return. And so was this one. A couple of forehand returns that he would want back. Yes, they are off the first serve, but it's really nothing that's, it's in his strike zone. It's, missing both of them back to back is pretty brutal. So now 30 all, and who knows, maybe Rune will just slip out of this anyway. Frozen, another one of these sliced serves.
Navarro is so quick right now, moving around the court. Stearns can't really find a finish on the backhand. She goes for a drop shot, but this time Navarro gets up to it with plenty of time and puts it away for a winner. So
they're already playing. No break though.
Yeah, not a long break. But these guys are both these girls, I should say, are super.
Guys can also be used, I guess. It has to be both genders then, I guess. But Zhang actually will get a break point at 3-4. And that's because Rune was kind of indecisive. He could have easily followed that up to the net earlier. He stayed back. And guess what? Zhizhen breaks with a beautiful open stance backhand pass. So it's going to be 5-3 and serving to take us to the deciding set. A very unexpected twist, I'd say, considering how the last hour and a half had been going. But yeah, that's just phenomenal. That's the best shot of the match right there. Rune is stunned. And actually, in the same way that Rune at 30 all, he was very indecisive, didn't go to the net, and eventually allowed Zhang just too much space to find that drop shot. Then here, he's just super tempted to follow up his first forehand to the net, and both decisions are spotty. Neither of them was the middle ground really. And now Zhang serving for the set, ace down the tee, so the perfect start.
Good defense by Zhang on the 30 all point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good backhand pass. I've just seen it. So, wow, that's a pretty tough pass, and he pulled it off.
Another ace down the tee now from Zhang, so fairly love. And, well, this is running away from Rune. Another ace down the tee. 3 aces down the tee, 40 love up. Okay. Can he come up with the fourth one as well?
Yeah.
I guess Rune might be kind of inclined to tank this point as well, so it might be a bit easier. Well, okay, no, he didn't tank it. It was a serve down the tee, but this one is not an ace. Rune is blasting the ball and obviously getting it right, because when Rune just decides to crash his shots, that's when they are the most dangerous. But that also represents the fact that he's not really, it's not hardcore trying to win this set anymore. I'm not saying he's half tanking it yet, but definitely just thinking about the fifth already, given that he's just, out there smashing the ball. And yeah, it's gonna be 6-3. And this last game, these last two games, they really changed how we view this match as a whole. Because like regardless of where this goes from here, this is actually a match now. Whereas since the opening set, it didn't really feel like Rune was in any trouble. It just felt like he was always in control. So not anymore. Now it's just going to be a battle.
Yeah.
10 winners and four unforced errors for Zhang in this set. And of course, no breakpoints faced. So no early break like in sets 2 and 3. Eventually he gets to that 30-all opportunity and plays a couple of great points from there. 82% on first serve points won again. And yeah, it's just going to be a very thrilling finish to this one. Rune is going off the court, so it seems like there will be more of a break there.
Well, it's imperative right now for Stearns to keep up this intensity because Navarro is super pumped after winning that set and just really locked in right now, just not missing. Great depth on some of these ground strokes. Stearns is frustrated. She's looking over at her box. She's.
Did you see that, by the way?
What's up? Oh my god. Oh. That's quite a comment. Okay. I don't know how to respond to that.
I mean, it's a compliment. It's clearly a compliment, I think. So.
Oh, okay. Looks like John really wants to play me that video for a while, so shall we allow him?
Yeah, go for it.
Ready?
The screeching sound you can limit though.
Play.
With Team, Gasquet, potentially, Rafa, and we don't know how many more years Novak will be on tour. Is there a player that you really want to play before they finish?
Yeah, sure. Novak Djokovic.
You want to play? Is there a player that you really want to play?
Where's the video?
Yeah, sure. Novak Djokovic.
Before they finish?
Yeah, sure. Novak Djokovic. Yeah, sure. Novak Djokovic.
You want to play?
Well, I like the editing. I like the zoom in. The noise at the end, though, I might have chosen a different sound for that one.
Yeah, I hated that too. Ghosty, I mean, tell me you're gonna have a joke about getting close to the finish there. Please. Ghosty, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you. It might be connected to your favorite player who's going to play Jack Draper tomorrow, I guess.
Korda, though, recovering from a bagel set yesterday and then winning at 7-6 in the fourth after nearly squandering 3 set points in the fourth set.
Korda, by the way, won 5 points in that second set.
Yeah, I didn't see the set, but I just saw he lost 6-love and I was like, holy crap.
I mean, he was still awful, like with the ab injury. But he also took a set in the Adelaide final, so he can clearly push through it at least a little bit. But I would assume that Draper or Koch are gonna beat him.
Yeah, at this moment, I'm looking at a good opportunity for Koch actually to win that Draper match.
Me too.
Yeah.
The producer is like laughing again. I'm not really sure why. Is it because of our Koch references? I don't know. Have we ever witnessed a golden set? Well, I mean, I can't say witnessed, but when Shvedova beat Errani with a golden set at Wimbledon, it made headlines. Like, I don't think I watched it, live, but I did rewatch it, like on the same day, probably. There was that one at the US Open qualies as well in 2013 between Julian Reister and Tim Putz. I guess that's the same case. Like, I wasn't watching the match, but I did see it, not long after it happened. At the amateur level, I don't think I've ever, golden setted anyone, and I was never golden setted by anyone. So. I do think it's a good opportunity for the cock, but he also has this issue that he is on the verge of breaking down physically too. So I actually kind of trust Jack more physically than I do trust Tanasi, but just like strictly level wise to me, yeah, he has a very good shot.
Yeah.
The cock has a very good shot, yes.
Yeah, he can really insert himself in the third round.
Let's hope he doesn't eject Draper out of the tournament.
Oh gosh. There's just too many jokes you can make.
Yeah, but I like this. I mean, basically, you don't even have to force it. It's just like anytime you talk about Kokinakis, instead of Tanasi or Kokinakis or the Aussie, you can just say the cock. And it makes every single sentence just so much more funny. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
Ghosty, of course, has had many good ones over the past few days.
Yeah. There was one in particular that really made us laugh for quite a while.
Kecmanovic and Lajovic into the fifth set. The old Serbian battle. Seemingly one player is much stronger and hard, but, well, not today so far. Berrettini defeated Nori. Vanch in shambles.
Oh, yeah, that was a good match for about 2 sets, and then I stopped watching after the third set, so.
Can't blame you. Didn't seem like there was anything exciting to come there. Never mind. Anyway, yeah, Zhang is back finally from that break, so looks like we'll be playing the fifth now. I am also kind of interested in seeing these last few games of the second set between Ugo Carabelli and Tien. I think Lerner was like a double break up in this set.
He was, yeah. I'm actually going to switch from Monfils Pericard to... Well, they're about to go to a first set tiebreak, so maybe I'll switch back, but...
Yeah, Monfils Pericard shockingly headed into the tiebreak, seemingly, if Gael can hold serve once more. But I do kind of want to see Ugo Carabelli and Tien right now. Just seems like there could be a resolution of that set very soon. And in fact, he made it actually. I didn't know. I thought I was going to be out. But yeah, it's just you can see already, I think, what sort of a match it is if you just catch a few points. Or Carabelli is like hardcore, just pressuring the end of the ground, and it's just an extended rally after extended rally. And yeah, I mean, this is actually hardcore tennis that Ugo Carabelli can find himself pretty comfortable in. So we'll see if Lerner is able to problem solve his way out of this, as he's been through, from many, many matches over the last year or so. It's kind of what Navone was doing against Draper too yesterday in many ways. Just like it just didn't feel like a hardcore match whatsoever, and that's why he was able to stick around for so long. And obviously also Jack making 88 unforced errors, like that was pretty important too. I think Jack Edward, if he was playing this match against Mariano Navone, he would probably be a bit cleaner.
Urkac versus Greekspor, possible upset?
Yeah, I'd hardly call it an upset, even honestly, because Talon is one of the most dangerous unseeded players. Probably Berrettini takes the cake, but after that you've got Arnaldi, Jari, Greekspor more or less. That's kind of like the top 4-ish, top 5, I think, unless I'm forgetting about somebody. And Hurkacz, Greekspor, they always went to the deciding set. some big stories. There's like Hurkacz had a match point in Halle and lost. Hickspor had he served for the match at Roland Garros and lost. So like it's always been close between them, and you can see why, obviously, with their game profiles. So
yeah. Well, Navarro, by the way, had the break point in the first Stearns service game of the third set, but Stearns did pretty well, saves it, gets out of that game, some heavy forehands. And now it looks like she's going to have a break point of her own in the next. So, Stearns, if you thought was going away after losing that second set tiebreak, you will have to think again, because it's basically a coin flip of a match between these two. Really hard to call a winner at this point. Stearns also losing a really competitive 3-setter in Adelaide to Paulo Badosa. And of course, we reference those two really good matches she played last year in the Sunshine Double against Sabalenka and then against Azarenka in Miami.
I don't remember the Azarenka one too well, but the Sabalenka one definitely. We even considered it for one of the matches of the year potentially. And it might come in handy here, as this could be Stearns' first top 10 win, I think. And of course, she was very close to doing that against Arinader already.
Yeah, they have a nice rally here going cross court with the backhand. Some good angle on the backhand cross from Stearns. Navarro steps in on the forehand. It goes wide. So Stearns is up a break actually right now, which is a really good effort considering kind of where she was body language wise after losing the second set tiebreak and facing a break point in her opening service game. Yes, and Tian is serving to force a second set tiebreak. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to be just watching that instead, this Tian Uwakara instead of Monfils Petchy Pericard. I've kind of leached
I watched
my
the
streak
6-5
right
game
now.
there for Camilo, but then I switched back to Zhang Rune. Monfils Petchy Pericard, I guess, yeah, it's so far it's just tie break. Exactly what you'd think. Maybe that can help Gael. I mean, obviously it's not the most physical matchup, so coming off that Auckland title, it's not gonna hurt him if the sets are like 35 minutes or whatever. But yeah, in the opening set, Monfils lost 9 points on serve so far, heading into the breaker, and Petchy Pericard lost 6. So
yeah.
I'm
fully expecting Shapovalov to beat Bautista Agut today.
I mean, it's kind of weird because their head-to-head is just weird. I don't understand it, because generally speaking, Bautista Agut is the type of player who like troubles Shapovalov. You know, Shapovalov just lost to Marcos Giron, for example. Isn't Roberto Bautista Agut just a 10 times better Marcos Giron? Isn't, Shapovalov losing to like Carvalho Baena at the French?
One theory that I have for why that might be is like Bautista Agut hits like every single backhand of his cross court, and that just goes into Dennis's forehand, and I feel like he's like very comfortable in that forehand cross, backhand cross dynamic. And I remember like their Wimbledon match, I thought that was going to be close. I even like, it was like some people were like 50-50, like maybe RBA can win, and like Dennis won it in straights. Like he just really likes RBA's ball.
It's 7-0 in sets,
really bother him. Yeah.
Off the backhand, sure, but like, RBA likes to play on the inside out forehand, and that's already like so tricky with how flat it is. I don't know. It's definitely a bit of a wild one. And 7-0 in sets is very unexpected.
Yeah, 7-0 in sets is pretty surprising. I would have thought RBA at least would have won some,
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of makes me think that, okay, like with RBA not exactly in his strongest moment right now, probably Dennis is just gonna win anyway.
Yeah.
But it could be the closest match they've ever had. Like, that's not really a tough ask. So There was a question like, which Grand Slam would you most like to attend from Ozan? I personally don't know what my answer is. I guess Australia is just the most outlandish, as in like, I'm not really going to buy myself like flight tickets to Australia or even wanting to fly there, 20-hour flight or whatever. So maybe like Australia in the like very hypothetical sense.
Yeah.
Because Wimbledon, French Open, like they just seem very real to me because I'm living in Europe, and like if I wanted to attend them, I would have attended them. So there's nothing like super special about that potentially. I know that this is literally, I can do it with a few clicks on my computer, right? I can go to Wimbledon, the French Open this year. I just choose not to. So they don't really feel that exciting to me. And I guess between the US Open and the Australian Open, probably Australia would be the funnier one. US Open I like following from Europe, I guess, with the time zone a bit more. And it would be good to go to Australia and actually watch these matches during the daytime. So yeah, my choice would be Australia.
I will actually have to be heading out right now, but
okay.
But yeah, good fun, and I'll be back sometime soon.
Well, we'll see if the stream will be still going. I'm probably gonna wrap it up after Rune Zhang or maybe or Zhang. But yeah, see you.
All right. Yeah. See ya.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Ghosty, on that Chapo RBA thing, if not for their head-to-head. Scared of spiders? I don't really know. Yeah, Marcos Giron shade here. There's also some shade at Kecmanovic and Lajovic from Swarna. Swarna has been brutal this Australian Open, indeed. Is Vansh leaving to meet up with Nakashima? Yeah, he's gonna like pep talk him before the Shelton match, right? He'll just be telling him, Brandon, you're just as good as Ben. Don't care about what people think, go for it. And and Brandon might just do it. Well, Fritz Brooksby is a short match that nobody cares for at this point, because by that point, that's Taylor started winning like 10 games in a row. I think everybody just turned it off. For Jensen, he just wants to come back, and obviously a Grand Slam is a good way to do it. I mean, you get the points, you get the money, but yeah, it's not really gonna be how you will get your rhythm back. That said, like Brooksby has already had 1 year in his career when he wasn't playing at all, right? In 2020, he didn't play a single match. He was actually supposed to be in college, Baylor, but he never played for them because he was injured the entire year. And then he comes back in 2021 and is very strong right off the gate. Like he just jumped from the challenger level to the ATP tour very, very quickly back then. So maybe he can actually do that again. Maybe he can produce something like that once more. But of course, it's going to take a while, and it's not going to be Taylor Fritz in his opening match, in his first match back. That's never going to happen, really. So pretty brutal for Jensen there. Second round for Taylor, obviously looking quite good too. There's Chorich against Garin right now, and Garin is 2 sets to love up, actually. Nardi 2 sets to 1 up on Diallo. Indeed, that Kecmanovic-Lajovic 5-setter. No, it doesn't seem like it's getting much traction, but 3-1 up now for Miomir in the 5th. Pecci Pericard and Monfils couldn't be any closer. 5-all in the first set tiebreak. Cerundolo took the first set in a tiebreak over Bublik. And Ugo Carabelli and Tien are playing the second set breaker too. Zhang Rune, by the way, I'm not talking too much about it at the moment, but it's 2 games all. 2 games all as well in Vansh's favorite Navarro and Stearns clash. We all know that Diana Jastremska needs a big run, and she's kind of starting well against Mayer Sheriff. Rune is definitely not playing too well at the moment. I can't say if that's like something physical as well as usual with him, but most certainly he is not firing on all cylinders anymore, and it is 2 games all. I'm probably going to catch the last few points of Ugo Carabelli Tien, the tiebreak, and then, of course, we're going to switch back to Zhang Rune for the remaining part of the 5th set. And that's likely going to be, I think, the end of the stream when that's over. We'll see if the Fonseca Rublev thing works out for me today. I mean, I think that the match will be starting like my time in about 6.5 hours potentially. So yeah, we'll just see. I mean, I had this nap before the start of play today that I don't even remember now if it was 3 hours or 2 hours. Maybe it was 3 hours actually. I wonder if I can kind of like find out when I went to bed. I think it was 3 hours. So 3 hours could get me going for most of the night, I think. We'll see. But then after Fonseca Rublev, I also am playing tomorrow. So we'll see. Would like to get like maybe like one more nap before Fonseca Rublev. 1 more 2-hour nap would be enough, I think. Anyway, that's not really too important at the moment, as Lerner takes the second set, Camilo Carabelli double faulting at 3-5 and kind of killing his chances there. But still a very competitive match. In fact, Lerner won just 1 more point in the second set than Camilo. Maybe I will also watch the remaining part of the tiebreak between Monfils and Pecci Pericard as it's 6 points all. That seems like a reasonable strategy as well. Oh, I suddenly started getting like pretty dizzy. That's weird as I'm sitting. Like it happens sometimes when you're lying and then you get back up, right? And you're just like well, the blood pressure, I guess, is just or maybe not even blood pressure, just air pressure or whatever. It's just a little much, but while sitting, that's kind of rare. Anyway, never mind. If the good thing about doing streams, I was actually thinking about this the other day. The good thing about doing streams is that if I have a heart attack or if I faint, a lot of people are gonna see it. Not sure any of them know my address, so that might not help. But anyway, 6 points all. It's a very good volley from Pecci Pericard, and he is able to take this point for 7-6. Yeah, maybe I'll drink some water or something because I really am very dizzy suddenly. (7-6) Pecci Pericard, Monfils serving. The serve, by the way, was 232 from Gio in the previous point. But he's not going to be able to get the serve back from Gael. I hope this is not going to be like a 24-22 tiebreak or something like this, because I really should be getting back to Zhang and Rune by this point. But I guess I'll rewind if that will be necessary. 7 points all, and Gael about to serve. I wonder if they even had any mini breaks in this breaker. And I'm gonna check that now, in fact. But let's see how that second serve pans out for Gael. Gio tries to hit it off the block return. But that was pretty deep, pretty risky second serve, I'd say. The second set tiebreak is already like taking like 20% of the duration of the set, I think. Yeah, they had mini breaks. In fact, Pecci Pericard had a set point on his serve at 6-5. That's obviously an opportunity missed there for the younger of the two Frenchmen. 7-8 here. He's about to serve. Well, gonna have to try on the second, and we know what he's doing on the second serve generally, right? Could be a double fault if his risky strategy doesn't pay off. But it does. He hits it. However, it's a return in play from Monfils, and that's enough. It was pretty deep. Pecci Pericard trying to hit that forehand off the back foot, and let me tell you, he's no Ernesto Escobedo when it comes to that shot. So 9-7 for Mr. Monfils in the opening set. Still about 50 minutes and still not the most physical. So maybe the concerns about his fatigue coming from Auckland won't really come into play. Let's switch back to Rune Zhang, obviously. As I think Holger just held, he just held for 3-2. Let's see if there were any breakpoints in that game, because it seemed to be competitive. He definitely had a big reaction. There was one breakpoint actually for Zhang, at 40, at 30-40 from his perspective, I suppose. So I'm probably going to try to just quickly rewind and see how that went, as that could be one of the most important matches, points of the match, especially if Zhang doesn't end up taking it. So let's see. Yeah, there was a breakpoint for Holger, for the Chinese. It's a good serve T, unreturned. Okay, not much of a story, I guess, on this point then. Free to Rune, he's switching his racket here, and let's see. Starting first in the decider, will it help him out? With every passing game, I guess the chance for that is getting progressively better. Oh wow, what a backhand on the run. I do feel like Rune is a little tired, like not down completely yet, but a little tired. And in many ways, it's really bringing out a more aggressive, a more ballsy version of his game. Like last game, he also hit this crazy forehand winner for a deuce, I think, that I don't think he usually goes for. But an unreturned serve from Zhang gives him the first point here, 15-0. Almost 3 hours on the clock. Again, not the most physical 5-setter, but Rune's fitness we know is troublesome. Should win this point, but he doesn't based on the baseline smash going into the net. He looks at the sky, apparently, blinded by the sun. But that's a brutal way to lose the point for him here, as it seemed like he might have that 15-30 chance here. He definitely pushed for it, and Zhang only really got this moonball, barely able to get to that forehand to that forehand on the stretch in his deep right corner. So this really could have been a 15-30, and it's a second serve again from Zhang. So this game is presenting some opportunities for Rune. Let's see if he's able to take them. This is another good return from him. Okay. Could have been a bit more tricky even here. I mean, the net approach, the direction definitely was a little off. But then he comes up with this pretty nice, inventive, very quick reaction on the volley. Yeah, you can see on the replay from the net that it's not the perfect technique. Like he's actually hitting this kind of like a reverse volley, like if the reverse serve that Lukáš Rosol was kind of famous for. But it works out anyway. Like he just basically covered himself up with Zhang trying to go at him. And indeed, the bigger shots are coming from Rune now. This is what I've been talking about. The forehand return cross-court gives him the break point. So there's a chance here for Holger to go 4-2 up and just 2 holes away, as he's definitely going after the shots a bit more now. Not gonna put in the return though, so it's a similar outcome to the breakpoint that he had that Zhang had in the previous game. Unreturned serve as well. Hurkacz Hrikspor so far just 3 games all, but obviously no breaks as you would expect. Kecmanovic serving for the match. Looks like he'll be fine there. Diallo is 3-0 up. And Peyton Stearns 4-2 up on Emma Navarro in that third set. But let's see about Triple Z, as he is, I didn't intend to rhyme there, but I kind of did. Anyway, it's a second serve at deuce. This time Rune goes for the block return though, and does the trick. I mean, I was thinking this is kind of short. Zhang should capitalize, but maybe at this point the legs are also not quite not quite what they were at the beginning of the match too, because he just sends that way long, and it's another breakpoint for the Dane, who is 2 out of 8 in this match. Zhang is 2 out of 5 on breakpoint conversion, and the first serve is just not there for Zhang in this game really. So it was on breakpoint, but not on the second breakpoint. Now the second serve again. What will Rune do? Just puts the return in play, nothing crazy. Zhang slicing. Rune has the chance to attack his inside in, and he does. And the squash shot from Zhang will be long. So it's 4 to Rune now. He has a clear advantage in the 5th set. Let's see if he can take it. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely fighting through some fatigue at the moment, but again, sometimes that even makes him more dangerous, more unpredictable. Tempted to go for the bigger shots. Kalinskaya withdrew, really? I had her going pretty deep, considering her draw. But that's a threat from Iga's draw that's been eliminated as well. Oh, Jane, yeah, I have low blood pressure as well, actually. I've never fallen, but I've had it many times where I'm like just getting up, I don't know, after lying in bed, and then suddenly, if I do it too quickly, then I get just like a bit nauseous and dizzy for a second. But I've never had it sitting. I don't know why it was the case. I was here for like 2 minutes here, honestly. I was kind of struggling. I didn't know what to say at that point. I don't think I'm dehydrated now. I mean, I am drinking some water, but I did, kind of think of that solution. Yeah, dudes get tired and they start slapping. I do like that moment too. I think that Holger is way more interesting actually when he is playing like this. There's a few more players as well. Like sometimes, I don't know, like Alexis Galarneau, for example. I think he plays his best tennis when he's super tired. Tired or injured Alcaraz, yeah, absolutely. These matches that he was playing in Rio, right? The entire week in 2023. Some just incredible shots despite looking horrible physically. Good day, Steve, to you as well. Eval is a lucky loser, as Joao says. Ivajovic winning round 2 against Rybakina. So Rybakina will face like 2 junior prospects in a row, right? Emerson Jones and Ivajovic. I mean, probably not ready to tackle her, either of them, but I guess it is an exciting match either way. You think that Zhang and Osaka, they kind of helped each other out here. Did I get the preview memo? I did. I'm not really sure what to say about Anisimova Raducanu, to be honest with you, but we'll try. So it was what? Anisimova Raducanu and Rudmenšik. Okay, Rudmenšik I'm a little better on, definitely. Yeah, also that's true, Sean, and I think also you just start playing a bit more instinctively, right? You don't really overthink stuff anymore because there's just no option to. Just have to go for it. And yeah, it's the same thing here again with Rune here. That spicy forehand here, like that's never happening in the first or second set. He just wasn't playing like this. I like the name that Jane suggested. I mean, it's pretty simple, but, describes what we're talking about, really. Simple, but does the job. And that's kind of what Holger is looking for right now as well at 30-all in this game. Going forehand cross court with Zhang here, but he's actually going to be the first one to miss in this rally, so Triple Z has a breakpoint chance right back. Well, this match has definitely delivered. I'm not disappointed about kind of like picking it today. Again, I just wanted to do something at the start of play because I'm assuming that Fonseca Rublev, I'm going to try to wake up for it. I'm going to try to be on the stream for it. So I wanted to do something at the start of play rather than later. So the choices maybe weren't like, it wasn't like I was choosing from 40 matches. But from the first lineup, I do think I chose the match that interests me the most. And it's delivering. In fact, Zhizhen Zhang, he gets Rune on the stretch here, and that forehand cross-court counter from Holger isn't going to be good enough. So you can kind of see why Rune is also going for his shots a bit more now, considering that, yeah, I mean, when he's not, he's kind of getting outplayed in a rally like this now. So yeah, this is going to be wild from here. This is just going to be a very, very weird finish with both players now tired, tense, but still playing some pretty good tennis. Cerundolo up a set and a break on Bublik, and Monfils also broke Pecci Pericard in the second set. So this is looking pretty rough for Gio. The one thing that I wouldn't like about Pecci Pericard getting eliminated here is that Fritz in the third round, that was kind of the opponent that I wanted to see Taylor face. And I think we would get a very close match from this. Whereas for Gael, that's probably not going to be the case if Monfils is to advance. But yeah, that's kind of the developments on the men's side for now, I think. And Navarro, Stearns are still stuck in this like pretty tiresome third set, it seems. 4-3 and advantage Navarro, but Stearns is serving. If it happens that we're going to have Rune and Zhang finishing before Navarro Stearns, then I actually will check it. I mean, I will actually watch it until the end, I think. But it's kind of wild because they are in the fifth set, right? Zhang, Rune, and they were starting at the same time as Peyton and Emma. And Peyton and Emma are pretty much in the same spot in the third set. So that match between the two Americans is, as Vansh said, I mean, the match of the tournament so far. He wasn't lying, the man from California. The man from San Diego, the fifth slam. Actually, I wonder why when Ozan asked that question about which slam he would like to attend, I wonder why Vansh just didn't say the San Diego slam, because I know that's the one that he always attends, but that's clearly the best one. Anyway, 2 more aces here, back-to-back from Zhang, as he is looking to provide a very quick 3-4 game and just sort of get the ball back to Rune, put the pressure again on the Dane, who is looking a little weaker physically, that's for sure, than Zhang. Interesting block, like a chopped return from Rune, but Zhang is just going to follow it up to the net with the slice approach and put it away. This was like a 1-minute game. Yeah, 53 seconds. They even showed it on the screen. Didn't really feel like, Rune believed that he can have a shot in this game, love 40. So he just went for like a more creative play and just tried something else, but obviously to no avail. So 4-all now. Zhang has broken back, of course, and let's see. Rune approaching the net after the first forehand now, but this isn't really a good approach. Zhang will be dreading the fact that he actually lost the point from here. There was ample opportunity to pass Holger on at least 2 shots, and he just never really did a good job at that. One time he just allows Rune too much freedom there with the forehand volley, and then on the next one he just dumps it into the middle of the net. Probably the second one may be even more egregious because either way. Rune didn't punish his first poor passing shot, but the second poor passing shot was in the net. It's a very deep forehand return from Zhang. He's really putting pressure on Holger there, but now there's a short ball for the Dane, and that's going to be put away. So 30 love. The moment Zhang broke his contact point here, the moment he mishit that backhand, credit to Rune for stepping in and just crushing that forehand cross. Should be a good serve too. I mean, he's got so much time to put this away. Chooses very, very wisely. He goes down the middle. He's not like waiting to see if Zhang goes left or right. He's literally going at him, sorta. So 40 love, and well, soon enough we might be in this like super decisive part of the match where the Chinese will be serving to stay in it. And in fact, that's where we're headed now. Rune 5-4. after the changeover, Zhang will serve to stay in the match. Let's see how successful that attempt turns out to be. How was Evalis ready so quickly? I mean, the lucky losers are just signing up every day. Like, the lucky losers aren't going to be... Of course, the lucky losers are in the order in which they were drawn, at least the top 4. But you actually have to sign up every single day. So you have to be at the venue. They're not, like, getting her from the hotel. Literally, you are signing up at, like, 9:30 a.m. or something like that. And you have to be at the venue just waiting around if the opportunity pops up. But yeah, sometimes it's a bit weird because, I don't know, you're just practicing or something like that, and then they tell you that, oh, you're playing in 30 minutes. It happens, yeah. Personal reasons, really? And that's Bianca. Okay, never mind. I thought that was Kaniskaya. No, I was not aware that Andrescu was not playing at the Australian Open, to be honest. Like, I guess, I wasn't just thinking actively about her, If you asked me where Andrescu was in the draw, I would be like, I don't think she's in the draw. But I wasn't actively aware of it. Serundolo about to go to sets to love up on Bublik, and Choric is going to be straight setted by Christian Garin, it seems. Garin's qualifying form was like a little uncertain, I would say, despite the winning. Because he beat both Delian brothers, who suck on hard courts, and he beat Jere in this weird deciding set. But maybe it's getting... Well, I mean, he's playing Choric, who's like pretty comically out of form, but I guess if he pushes Fritz, then that would be a signifier that, no, he's actually recovering something. Well, Zhang a little under pressure as we have another massive forehand crosscourt from Rune. Wow. Rune misses this lob. Oh, he knew that he missed it, like right away when he hit it, He was already crying about it. Yeah, that could have been lob 30 so easily. Zhang barely gets to the dropper, and then Rune has all the time in the world to hit the lob. But he just sends it long, so it's 15-all. Easily could have been 2 points away here. But that's a great return at Zhang's feet, and he's gonna be 2 points away anyway, but just 15-30, not 30, and not lob 30. And how tricky is this? Oh, Zhizhen Zhang, what a forehand. I mean, he's just so late on the ball there for absolutely no reason. Like he's in position, but like the swing, the contact point, like, oh wow. So it's too much points Rune now. And it's going to be another error of the ground for Zhizhen Zhang. What a reaction from Rune. He's screaming out there. Yeah, his mom is there. She was just more in the crowd rather than in the box. Handshake at the net. And Holger Rune is moving on to the second round with a 4-6, 6-3, 6-4, 3-6, 6-4 defeat of Zhizhen Zhang. 5 sets, but pretty quick 5 sets. Still, physically, it was a tough one for Holger. I mean, he was very much in control since the start of the second set, especially when he started putting more returns in play, also not over pressing anymore, just being very careful, safe. And then, of course, Triple Z found that insane backhand down the line pass on BP, and it just gets and it became a messy finish. But And then Holger ended up being in the fifth set. He like started being, in his usual mode of when he's low on steam, but going after his shots even more with success. So in the end, of course, he moves on. He's going to play Matteo Berrettini. When it comes to the head-to-head, there's actually a very interesting one there, I think, because ever since they started competing against each other, Holger has been holding up pretty okay. Like there was an Indian Wells match in 2022, I think, that was won by Matteo, but Holger's returning performance in that match was just incredible. And at the time, even the fact that he just went very close with Berrettini was already considered a win. That was the year, I think, when he started, just outside the top? No, was it the year when he started outside the top 100 just barely? Or was it the year when, just a year earlier? I don't remember. So he wins Paris in 22, right? So yeah, it must have been the year when he started barely outside the top 100. Anyway, that was already considered a pretty big win for Holger. And then he also beats Berrettini via retirement in Acapulco. That doesn't matter. But then 24, he defeats him twice in Cincinnati and Shanghai. And yes, these were free setters. Like, it's not a guarantee, but he does play Berrettini well. That's what we can definitely know. And he's going to play Matteo in one of the best matches of the second round. Also, one of the best matches of the second round will be Rune Menchik for me tomorrow. I think that Casper against Munar, the going 5 sets against the Spaniard. Yeah, he was just playing like pretty off for about 2.5 of these. And that's not going to be affordable against Menchik, especially if Jakub has that serving from the last few performances. So like 31 aces against Basilashvili, or at the Next Gen finals, he had these incredible serving days as well against Lerner and Joao. Of course, he lost both matches, but the serving was what was keeping him in it. And he's such a good scrambler too. Like he's pretty solid, or at least will be getting even more solid when his forehand gets figured out a bit more. So I'm just not sure Rune can afford this. I think before the event, I was maybe a little is Menchik going to have enough in the tank, because he had 2 very long weeks in Brisbane and Auckland. But it looks like he probably should. It wasn't the most physical match against Nicolas Basilashvili. So I just don't know if Casper can play like 5 high-quality sets based on what we saw in the opening round against an opponent who's both serving much better than Munar, but also is similarly scrambly, I guess. Obviously, Munar is the better grinder over Menchik, but still, you can see how like the Czech, despite his physicality, despite his height, is just very good at basically anticipating and covering the corners, not necessarily countering from them, but just like, picking up this shot, picking up this shot, picking up this shot. And that should be pretty important against Rune, especially if we see this like very aggressive version of Casper that we've seen so far. So to me, that's like a 50-50, and maybe even with a slight edge to Menchik. If I was to just, put a name on the list or whatever, I would probably go Menchik. And the other match you wanted the preview of, I mean, Anisimova Raducanu is a pretty tough one. We've just seen this one match from Emma where she was double faulting a ton. And Anisimova, of course, we never really know her physical state, but she looks fine in 2025 so far. I think Anisimova has to be treated as a slight favorite. Like, she's been playing well enough. She's the bigger ball striker. She's, it's very tough to say who's like the more talented player. They're both amazing, just struggling with injuries constantly, and kind of also had some other personal reasons, let's say, in their careers that are stopping them a little bit. Emma with all the coaching changes, Anisimova with the break she took and mentally struggling. But I think Anisimova has to be treated as a slight favorite. She's just a more aggressive, bigger ball striker. But you can see that like it's not going to be a match like against Maria Carla today, where Carla is just like pushing, and that's kind of her game. And Raducanu is able to play like very, depending on the matchup, she's able to adjust a ton. She can be like a very aggressive player herself, but probably in this one, she's going to have to play a bit more like varied counter punching, and that's fine for her too. In fact, she got a pretty nice warm up for this, I think, today against Alexandrova, right? It's not a matchup where you're going to be dominating, but you got to find your opportunities to pull the trigger. You got to find your aggressive second serve returns. She's going to be trying to do the same against Anisimova. It certainly looks like a very exciting clash. Truthfully, I kind of overlooked Emma when I was looking at the draw first. Like, I didn't think she was going to get to the third round. Alexandrova, Anisimova, that was kind of the names I was looking at. Maybe it's because there was another like health issue, going into the Australian Open for her. Maybe that was just my idea. But in the end, I think the way it's looking right now, it's pretty clear that Anisimova and Raducanu both have a shot to potentially play Świątek in the third round. Anisimova would have an actual shot to beat her, though. I'm not really positive about Emma troubling Iga there. Your guys are saying that Stearns and Navarro are still going on, right? So yeah, let's watch it until the end and let's wrap up the stream then. It's 5-all in the deciding set. Apparently, Stearns was serving for the match, as you are saying. Let's move on to that one then, and we will switch off the stream after it's over. 5 games all. Navarro serving at 40 love. I think a few women's matches have also ended around this time, so I'm gonna update you on the scores in a moment. Stearns just going for that return, or is it a double fault? I think it's a double fault from Navarro, but at 40 love, she's likely gonna be fine. Someone texting me just now that how Chorich won Cincinnati will always be a mystery or something like that. I don't actually agree, but yeah, I mean the game after the injuries was there was a brief moment, right, when in quicker conditions he was suddenly hitting his forehand very offensively and had that big serve, but now it's just kind of falling apart, and the lack of his resilience, his consistency from the early days is hurting him even more now. Of course, that's alluding to the fact that Christian Garin defeated him in straight sets, I think, or at least is about to defeat him in straight sets. Yeah, he defeated him in straight sets already. Anyway, Navarro takes the 6-5 game. Stearns trying to go for that inside-out, inside-in combination, but missing the last shot. And, well, let me update you quickly on the other results before we head to watch the last few games of that. Gabriel Diallo currently up a break in the 5th set on Luca Nardi. I'm not watching this match, but just from how the match has been going, it seems like Nardi might be down physically because suddenly just started losing, games basically in a row without any real problems for the Canadian. So that's my assumption. Cerundolo is up a break on Bublik in the 3rd set. He's very close to straight setting Bublik, which is both impressive, but also we know how Bublik can be. Hurkacz Grigspor, 5 games all, not unexpected. Monfils and Pecci Pericard still that one early break from the 2nd set for Gael is massive, and he can go, 2 sets to love up very soon. Ugarabelli and Tien, this match might last forever. 2 games all in the 3rd set. I am excited to catch it soon as well. When I wrap up the stream, I will probably watch the rest of it. Jastremska close to winning her round 1 match. She really needs it, as I think without the points for the semifinal last year, she would be around the top 100 at the moment. And Ivajovic is up a set on Nuria Parisas Diaz, even 2 breakpoints to go a set and a break up. That would be a big win for the youngster, even if Parisas Diaz, her peak is probably over by that point. So yeah, that's kind of everything that's been happening. Let's just follow the rest of Navarro's turns. For the time being, Peyton served for the match. Now she has to serve to stay in it, which definitely isn't an easy position. Anytime we have a player in that moment. And, the first point right away is looking a little tricky for her. That's a very nice counter from Navarro there. She didn't even hit the ball, but she just open stance, pushed it, pretty loopy down the line. But the precision on that was really good. Also, it's a pretty tough shot physically after, how long they've been playing. I don't even see the clock right now, but I'm sure they're going to show it to me at some point. I think it must be way over 3 hours by now. And now it's Emma 3 points away from the match. Yeah, it is way over 3 hours. So the match of the tournament so far, the match of the year so far, maybe, according to Vansh, and probably according to some other people too. It seems like a cracker from what our friend was describing. Anyway, Peyton going for that forehand, and did she miss that? Oh wow, she did. That's pretty brutal. This was just executed pretty well, I think. she was like hitting from the middle of the court, but she wasn't like fully pushing for that angle or anything. I think it was very much there. And if she gets that, she wins the point. So it's love 30 now. This is a very narrow miss for the American, and just 2 points away for Navarro, as Stearns' chances are looking worse and worse by the minute. Not too much power on that serve, to be honest. And now Navarro is kind of in control of this point. Will she be able to produce anything? It's a nice, sharp backhand angle cross-court, and it's going to be 3 match points for Stearns. Yeah, she's very frustrated at the moment. Navarro had a nice return, but that didn't really have the punch to wrap up the point. So basically, she just had to wait. That backhand on the crouch cross court, yeah, it was fine, but still, it felt like Peyton, doesn't have to miss there. So 3 match points, and it's a great serve. I was just complaining about the lack of pace on her previous one, and this time she finds a perler. Still frustrated though, still screaming. She is a very feisty woman, and well, that's good, obviously, on the tennis court. She has gotten a lot of comebacks. She has gotten a lot of great matches in the past. And let's see if she can also produce another one here from 3 match points down. This would be an incredible win. This time the return from Navarro is very strong. Peyton on top of the point, though. Not quite enough to wrap it up. And now she's a little slow to that ball. And Navarro will be able to make that. Yes, I mean, Peyton eventually, when she went for 3 shots with Navarro here, then you could see that when she was pushed far to the forehand corner, she was already quite fatigued. And Navarro very smartly just wrong foots her there. Plays a very safe but a very impressive shot nonetheless, considering it's over 3 hours. And it's 6-7, 7-6, 7-5 for the 8th seed, is she? Either way, a top 10 player who was made to work hard here, and who, since the Asian swing, didn't really have any impressive wins on her resume. This is definitely one that will kind of stand out so far from what she's done in 2025 and even the late 2024. And well, maybe this can kind of wake her up and revive her level, because confidence-wise, yeah, she should take something from this match for sure. It was such a good battle, and well, Emma Navarro ends up moving on to the second round. All right, looks like that's more or less when we'll be finishing this stream. Tom Hill is the coach of Peyton now, right? Yeah. Seriously concerned about Peyton's fitness build. Looks unhealthy to me, says Dave. Yeah, can't really speak about muscle tone, honestly. I don't know too much about it. Definitely, she was the one a little more tired here, but I'm assuming that during the course of that deciding set, that was also kind of going up and down for both players. Church served like a demon. Exactly, yeah. I don't think it was weird that Church won that Cincinnati title based on how he played there, but based on kind of his results from there. I mean, sure, yeah, depending how you look at it. All right, indeed, this is time to go for me. Hopefully see you again on the Fonseca match, Fonseca-Rublev, but we'll find out. I mean, I'm not really sure yet, but if I get 2 or 3 more hours of sleep, I should be fine. But for now, I'm definitely just staying up and watching some more tennis, as we have so many good matches around. Probably my next one is going to be Ugo Carabelli against Tien. Might check in on the big Effin Paul as well and how he's doing. So far, 6-5 against Grigspor. He's actually 2 points away from taking the set, but it will take some time. Anyway, yeah, once more, thank you guys, and see ya.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.